No, but they told me, they were like, don't go to Uzbekistan or Venezuela because they will extradite you to Russia.
When a mommy lion wants to get her flakes frosted.
And the winged hussars arrived. Sorry, we were talking about classic battles. When you get Nick a little bit tipsy, just take him to IHOP at 3 a.m. You're fine.
It's true.
Say hi to Eli. He's racially ambiguous. And Brandon, his hair is fucking fabulous. And Donut, a dark joke disposition. And there's a fat electrician. Welcome to unsubscribe.
Hey, before this episode starts, I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things. First thing we'll touch base on is the Buffalo School District situation, and apparently even more districts than that, and our boy Angry Cop shining light on the entire situation. Just a big shout out to him again for opening up, trusting us, trusting y'all, feeling comfortable enough to deliver that message. Rich, we love you, buddy, and we'll always have you back, as you can tell by this amazing community, and also keep rallying behind not only Rich, but those families and those children in those districts or affected by this entire situation. We all have your back collectively. I already know I speak for y'all, and I know I speak for the guys. This community will always be here for y'all. Second, because of the love, support, shares, likes, views on that video, and donations, we are able to donate $10,000 by the end of the week to the Buffalo, New York City Family Justice Center. So that is all you, amazing humans. Thank you. We are honored to be able to write that check, and we all know it is possible because of all y'all out there. Third, journalists or people that were defending that. You learning a lesson? I hope. I take notes and be like, man, kids come first. Kids, we got to protect those things. Otherwise, yeah, you're going to learn about weaponized autism. And that is the final part of this. It is the end of the autism month. We have a couple more days to break that $250,000 goal. We're getting close. Thanks to all you amazing people. So go pick up a weaponized autism shirt. Go pick up some TISM shoes. I'm missing the black and blue ones because Ryden decided he really wanted those. Look how dope he looks. He's wearing the boy's hat too. God, I need to teach that boy how to stand up straight. I am so proud of this amazing community and how you all have rallied this entire month. Be very proud of the community you are part of, you have helped build, and what you have done. If you want, go pick up some TISM gear. We appreciate it. Let's crush that goal. You've already done so much this month, and I feel selfish asking you to do more. I just know y'all care as much as we do about making a positive impact in this world and helping others that might need a little more help or assistance. Thank y'all for everything. Truly mean that. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Shit. Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Unsubscribed Podcast. I'm joined here today by my co-host, Mr. Eli Doubletap, our very frequent guest, Ethan, Mr. Habitual Linecrosser, and I believe for his second appearance, Chris Cappy of now Cappy Army, formerly Task and Purpose.
But maybe Call Me Cappy is on the table. Mm-hmm. We're going to say,
you guys no,
might be Call Me Maybe.
No.
Cappy Army.
You need to start a new channel called Task and Purpose, and it's just about turtles. The whole channel is about fucking turtles. It'd be hilarious.
Anytime anybody types in Task and Purpose,
like, why is it after a porpoise? But there's nothing but turtles. I'm not just in that statement.
It's just breakdowns of Blastoids from Pokemon.
It's like, what the welcome back, buddy.
It's great to be here. Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
We're excited. And you got a whole new, you're taking that solo journey. You're about to.
Doing the leap of faith, jumping off, going solo.
Not scary at all.
I guess most people probably don't realize, but like, so what is what was the dynamic at the Task and Purpose channel? Because for the longest time, I thought you were like a one-man show or a two-guy show. I had no idea.
So for the longest time, I was like a one-man band. For the first 2 years, I wrote, edited, produced, shot, uploaded, all the content. And then after I proved that, like, okay, there's something here, we're getting some views, then they started to invest. I got a full-time editor. Task and Purpose gave me like a ton of opportunity, and always going to appreciate that. Yeah, very grateful for that chance.
But like you didn't like start out on your own out of the gate. Like you had like financial backing at the beginning, or
yeah.
Okay,
So
gotcha.
a lot of people have that same question. They're like, tons of people, when I said I was leaving, they're all in the comments like, I thought you owned Task and Purpose.
Right.
And I like, not at all, never owned Task and Purpose, didn't sell it. Like, that was not what happened. Like you said, like, I don't know if I honestly would have been huge on YouTube if they basically fronted that period of time. You know, like when you're putting out videos and they're getting like 300 views.
Yeah,
doesn't do that.
where it's a full-time job, but you're not making full-time job money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they were paying me a salary while I was getting like 300 views, 1,000 views. And then after the first 6 months, a year, it started to become profitable, started to blow up. And then I got locked into a contract with them for like many years, producing content, making the show for them. But yeah, I had that financial backing in the beginning, and it really was, it was huge. They let me do whatever I wanted, which is crazy for a company to let you just say whatever you want, put up whatever you want on the YouTube. Because when I got there, their YouTube channel had 800 subscribers. No one was putting anything on there. So I was like, hey, can I upload stuff on here? And no one said no. So I took that as a yes. It's like, which that's not life advice.
No,
that's
is
not
life
how
advice.
consent
That-
works.
yes.
No,
Well-
it's not.
All right.
I caught that joke. I'm going to take that one back. It's not getting out there.
But like, okay, so once it started making money and really taking off, like the whole thing happened so fast for me. Yeah, I don't know. It's-
You had like Task and Purpose before. I think they focused more on meta, YouTube a little, but it was like articles, news articles, and then military.
When I got there, it was, so me and Patrick Baker, a really close friend of mine, still friends, great dude from like Ranger Up days. We would just put up skits on Facebook because there was no YouTube. So we would just put up like funny videos on Facebook and stuff. And those would get some attention. And it was mainly, Task and Purpose was a website and an Instagram. And they would do all these articles. They have somebody at the Pentagon, Jeff Schogel, amazing correspondent at the Pentagon, asking questions to the top people at the Pentagon. And their website put out like really important articles. And the YouTube side has always been very separate from the website side, though.
Yeah.
Had its own like voice and perspective. So that dynamic also gets to a point where like it makes sense to split at a certain point.
And yeah, I mean, you really dialed it into. You were doing up to 2 a week, correct, for a long period of time.
For the last 3 years, we were doing basically like 2 mini documentaries.
Yeah, and yours,
Proud of you
dude. when we-
guys.
oh,
I wasn't even here for his podcast. You got him to quit his job. Way to go.
I learned from the best.
He showed up one time. He's like, I'm sick of being professional. I want to roll around in the mud with the rest of these degenerates.
I got to hang out with 3 retards. That was amazing. I quit, guys. But it was 2 a week is ridiculous, and the level of work. I mean, Nick is once a big one, like once every other week.
I do
what's 3?
2 Fat Electricians a month and 2 Fat Files a month. So it's once a week, but the Fat Files are, they're like 10 to 20 minute videos, whereas the Fat Electrician ones are like 45 to hour plus.
But the amount of research that goes into it, and then the amount of detail you go into,
And
it,
the amount of information that you are able to absorb and maintain has all. I remember I like texted you once. I was like, "How do you do it?" And you're like, "Just good at it, man. Be better.
get good."
Built different." No, but it's really impressive what you do. Like, my situation is a little bit different. In order to pump out that amount of content, I work with a team very closely that I could not do what I do at that pace without these guys. And they're actually, a lot of them are coming with me. When they found out I was leaving, they were like, hey, can we come with you? So Mike Elides, he's my head creative producer. And a a couple of my researchers are also with me on Cappy Army. So like this team is just really amazing people that I could not do it without.
When does that actually go live? When you rolling out the first?
Saturday.
No shit. Oh, that's like.
And it'll be the video on Saturday is going to be a full explanation because I feel like the audience they've given me so much over the last 6 years, and it's been my relationship with that community has driven and built that show, and I'm appreciative of that, and I feel like I kind of owe them like an explanation of, hey, this is what happened. Like, I love Task and Purpose. Keep watching them. Here's a full rundown of sort of like how we grew the channel and where we're going in the future. Because there's things I want to do and invest in, and that I really couldn't do under Task and Purpose. And there's ways I wanted to like incentivize my team and make sure that they get paid what they expect to get paid. And, you know, when you're working for a company, you're not in control of the goals. You're not in control of the compensation. So I needed to take on the risk in order to do that.
But yeah, I think you're doing it the right way. And it is a lot of those companies, it is a weird mindset. And I think they are learning. You had like Donut Media and a couple others, but it is, hey, we'll build this in an individual, and then that brand is now your identity. And then
yeah,
the company usually doesn't realize how important that is. It'd be like Fat Electrician if that was owned by like an electrician company, and then you're like, I'm out, Nick out. They'd be like, fuck, dude, you could go anywhere else. That channel would just be like,
Donut Media is funny you bring them up. So one of the things I'm very grateful for is that they linked me up. Like I got to be mentored by the CEO of Donut Media. Really smart dude. Very appreciative of that. He taught me how to like, okay, how are we going to take this once a week thing and make it a twice a week thing? And, you know, double that ad inventory and think about it more as like a business. Because when I was doing a band thing, I just only thought of it as like, cool, I got a green screen behind me and like, I'm just going to, you know, I don't want to worry about business and money side of things, but you can't, you know, I had to grow up a little bit.
and then the stress comes.
Yes,
and
that's the fun
like,
part.
Fuck, why did I do so many businesses? That was stupid. Well, at least what's your first video rolling out for Saturdays, other than the explanation?
That's the Why I Left Task and Purpose video on Saturday. And then after that, we're going to be hitting people in the teeth, straight in the teeth with geopolitics, weapons rundowns, and just good old fashioned war.
I don't envy your comment section.
No.
Covering current event geopolitics.
Gaza,
Bro, it's
Hamas and Jews.
Everybody's got very strong opinions on places they can't spell.
yeah.
Like,
I can barely pronounce them. To be fair.
you know I'm right.
It is so.
I can't spell that word, but I have very strong opinions about it. And fuck you if you disagree with them.
And I know they would respect my opinions if I went there. It's like. A lot of people never went to a third world country or experienced war. If you don't, then you have this weird mindset that everyone is like a typical American, kind, friendly, or they respect your life, or any of that. That can go out the window. Fucking lickety split, lickety.
Geopolitics sucks, man. Like I even tried, like I had to throttle back on some of the things that I say because people have such strong feelings in the world. And geopolitics is, I mean, mine is just comedy and satire and stuff like that. But you like break it down, cold hard facts. Like this is exactly what's going on. I do not envy you, man. I do not.
That's why I like history. I get there like, this guy killed a lot of Nazis. Everybody's like, yeah!
Today on Fat Electrician, Hitler, a hero?
No?
We can spice up your comment section too, Nick. We just go down that rabbit hole. We're like, man, Nick really...
Did the Jews deserve it?
Jesus.
Stalin, not that bad. I would like that. That should have been your April Fool's video. You just do a pro
communism.
All the good ideas Stalin had. 4-second video.
That's yeah.
Flash bang out. Fucking the end. Like,
open an empty book and then shut the video off. I actually, now that everyone's here, you guys, how did you meet each other?
I think we ran into each other at SHOT Show one year, and then we just messaged back and forth.
Yeah. It got hot and heavy.
I
pretty
was
quick.
fucking shit wrecked.
Same.
love
I remember.
Drunk Nick's my favorite.
I was very drunk.
Eli, hey, come here. How you doing, bud? You're a good guy. I'm like, Nick's hugging. He's happy, right?
yeah.
He's the happiest kind of drunk.
I'm telling you, when you get Nick a little bit tipsy, just take him to IHOP at 3 a.m. You're fine.
It's true.
Yeah.
He's a simple man.
I haven't shit at IHOP this trip yet. We
Yeah,
gotta
yeah, you
do that
haven't.
tonight.
We can make that
We're
happen.
going to IHOP so you can shit there tonight? Okay.
So we got different history segments. I want to know each one of your different like favorite wars or moments in history because they're going to be different, I'm assuming. Because yours is World War II, Nick?
I mean, probably.
That's where you like fucking hammer it.
I want to say World War II because there's a lot of really interesting things that happen in World War II. However, the more I learn about aircraft, Desert Storm is just a symphony of destruction. It's beautiful what Schwarzkopf did. It's gorgeous.
See?
You talking anytime in history or like
Yeah.
current events?
You can do current events if you like.
Ooh,
if
if
you
I
like
could.
now war, yeah.
I mean, I like Assyria. I do. You know what I like about Syria is you talk about how like, okay, geopolitics can be like, it can be a third rail, like zzz, it's a hot topic, but Syria, everyone can get behind the fact that like, fuck ISIS.
That's fair, actually. Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
What about you, Eli?
Oh, World War II.
Okay.
I actually like the old, if it's American history, World War II, just crazy. Just that mindset, actually putting yourself in that position where you're riding in a boat at, depending on what age, 13 to 20, and then you're just heading towards a beach. Bullets are whipping by, hitting, and then you're just dismounting, running into it. Or you're in Iwo Jima doing the exact same thing. Or jumping out of a fucking airplane that's getting lit up. Like, all that is wild. And then Japanese history. Like, the Edo era was Nobunaga, like his rise to power, and then how he almost unified Japan, and then Yoshi, he then unified it, and it was just a farmer that managed to get that much power into that prestige, and you unify an entire country. That was a very big war country. That never went away until Two Sons came out.
Yeah, I was like,
and
two
then-
reset buttons hit some pretty
and then
important
that
towns.
reset that warrior
Yeah.
mindset real fucking fast.
We go from warrior mindset to sun twice, anime, baby metal.
I love how I love how isolated Japan was from the rest of the world. Like for a long, like it's just fucking crazy. It's just like the era that's never going to happen again. You know what I mean? It's just the era of discovery of like, we've unlocked the whole map at this point. Like we know it all, we've seen it all, but like just the idea of like just some dude on a fucking pilgrim on a wooden boat rolls up. It's like, what are you guys doing? Oh, you're wearing pottery and chopping each other's heads off. All right, this is wild.
And you're like, what the fuck?
What is going
Why
on?
did he do that? No, he dishonored his lord. Why did he quit? Fire him.
That or like I just have
wild.
like I don't even know how to explain. I have a fascination with like animals and discovery of animals where it's like, imagine being an explorer and like rolling up on Australia and there's giant dog, bunny, kangaroos hopping around. You're like, do I even tell anybody about this? Or are they going to burn me for being a witch? Like they're going to put me in an insane asylum. Like, you know, the fucking, like the platypus, there was like people that had documented the platypus and people thought that they were just full of shit and lying. Like it was Bigfoot. For like 40 years, it was like a mythical creature, like a fucking, what's the rabbit with the deer antlers?
jackalope.
A jackalope. They thought it was like a jackalope type thing for like 40 years, and then they caught one alive, and they're like, holy shit.
It has a needle and it has poisonous claws.
Yeah,
venomous claws.
It's venomous dew claws.
It lays eggs, but it's a mammal.
Yep.
It has a duck bill.
Yep. So, like,
That is
It has a duck bill, and it's older than a duck, so technically a duck has a platypus bill.
See, I didn't know about that.
Yeah, like the whatever the
it's like the
phenotypes
big
and
man
shit.
upstairs when like putting animals everywhere just had some leftover parts and he's like, just
shit
slapped
wreck.
his
I
shit together.
love
shit-wrecked.
those tweets.
It's so good.
The tweet where it's like God inventing animals and talking to the angels like, all right, I want a bug, give it like 8 legs, like 17 eyes. And you're like, God, you're getting crazy with this one. Give it an ass rope. Just like,
It's like that when I want 100 legs. It's like 2 insects. They don't have any distinct form. And they're like, I want to be long and skinny. So I was like, boop. And it's like, I want lots of legs. So, and there were 2 millipedes. Like, yay. And he's like, what's your third wish? And one's like, more legs. And the other one's like, teeth. And then centipedes. You've seen how big, dude.
They terrify me.
They're poisonous. They will murder shit. Like centipedes and the giant ones that are like the size of your arm. Yeah, fuck off.
Did you know a couple years ago they discovered a new spider in Australia? I'm not making this up, right? Like I watched this guy on Instagram and he's like breaks down different animals and shit all over the world. Like mostly it's Australian shit because I don't know if you know, like, dude, they got jellyfish that are this big that'll like send you to the afterlife.
Yeah, no, it's like the beta of the new animals on Earth.
It's
like
really,
all the new animals spawn from there.
Yeah, dude. But
so that is not where you want to be born. You're like, what a beautiful land. Everything kills you.
Dude, it's insane. So like the wandering spider is like one of the most venomous spiders in existence. I believe it might be the most. But it's like, I don't know, they're like 2-ish inches. I mean, it's a big fucking spider, don't get me wrong. The new species is a wandering spider that is 3 times the size of the previous one. And guess where it's at? Australia. The rest of the world's like, you know, coming up with buildings and technologies, and Australia's just playing Ark Survival Evolved.
You're like, fuck that thing.
Like, dude.
That's
why I live in Iowa.
Yeah, and they, like,
it's cold there. Guess what can kill you? Nothing, except for your own stupidity.
Centipedes are the
that's
only
it.
thing on this planet that scares me worse than a fucking spider. And I had one crawl across my foot one time.
Millipedes don't have teeth.
Yeah, millipedes are rubber, yeah.
No, that's fine. That's not gonna fucking like. That's not that thing.
That is that on steroids.
Yeah. Centipedes are just angry little, just. There's no other way. They're armored, angry fucks. Like that's all they are. They're hard to kill. They're angry as shit. They're the bug version of a honey badger. That's what they are.
United States is the best.
Yeah.
We don't have that much. Well, never mind. We had that black widow in the garage the other day. It was a big black
Wolf
widow
spiders.
too. I was like, whoa, hi, what's up, black widow?
Oh, wolf spiders don't bug me.
But when they bite you, they take like a chunk, right?
no, I think
wolf
you're thinking of
brown recluse.
Brown recluse.
Yes,
There you go.
that's the one.
And those are poison.
Yeah, those
venomous,
will-
whatever the word is.
Tissue necrosis.
Yep.
Moomoo's just become the official sponsor of the New York Mets, and you know what that means, Brandon.
Every deposited user has a shot at free tickets to Moomoo Mondays. Only 500 tickets available per game with 8 games in 2025.
And if the Mets hit 100 wins this season, one lucky user could walk away with $1 million prize.
So how about those Mets, huh?
That's like 7 zeros.
6, 0, 7 digits. It's all right.
Right, Ed. Also, Moomoo has some standout promos going on right now, like...
You could earn up to 8.1% APY on uninvested cash. That's a 4% base APY plus a 4.1% booster for the first 3 months.
What did that even mean?
Fuck if I know, but they put it in the read.
Thanks, Moomoo. You can also get up to 60 free stocks with qualifying deposits, each worth $2,000, give or take. If you're transferring from another brokerage, Moomoo offers a 3% match up to $600.
Stack that up against all the other platforms, and yeah, it's worth a look.
Obviously, they're doing good if they're sponsoring the New York Mets. Join the 25 million users worldwide on Moomoo. Click the link in the description or use code UNSUB60 to jumpstart your investing journey today.
It means up to 60 free stocks when making a qualified deposit.
Moomoo is also giving new users 8.1 APY, interest on uninvested cash, for a limited time. Well, Brandon, finish it.
While you plan your first trade. Plus, if you're already a trader and you want to graduate to a more sophisticated platform, transfer your portfolio over to Moomoo and earn up to $600 in cash rewards.
Stonks.
Stonks.
So click the link in the description or use code UNSUB60 to take advantage of these awesome promos. And on the count of 3, Brandon. 1, 2, 3. And experience the power of Moomoo. More experience the power of Moomoo. Brandon, I need you at a 10. You're at a 1. Experience the power. Brandon.
They got tarantula hawks down there in New Mexico. I don't know if you guys have them here.
Fuck is a tarantula hawk?
It's a wasp. They're huge. They're like the biggest ones in the United States. Honestly, they're really good temperament wise. Like they'll go right past you. They're not like a yellow jacket. They won't fight you for your food. Like they got shit to do. They're just going on their merry way. But if you piss them off, one of the most painful stings on the planet, what they do is they hunt tarantulas, sting them. The tarantula's paralyzed, still alive. They drag the tarantula into a hole, lay an egg on it, and then the egg surgically eats all the parts of the spider to keep the spider alive as long as humanly possible, and then finishes it off and goes and finds a new fucking spider once it's grown up. It's terrifying. Like, why is that here, Australia? Like, you shouldn't have just.
I will. The most terrifying thing that could happen is just insects just instantly become like 20 times the size, so like man size.
Wow,
yeah.
that'd be hilarious.
I mean, even
That would be terrifying.
this is America. You think I won't shoot 8.6 blackout at a giant ladybug? You're wrong.
you get the one peaceful insect.
What if you shoot one bug?
You shoot that one.
This is the part that bothers me
just
about.
executes.
This is the part that bothers me about like Jurassic Park. Everybody's like, "Oh my god, what if there were giant monsters?" Like they're still susceptible to fucking bullets. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I need a 20 millimeter rifle to kill a T-Rex. The fuck you do?
Oh.
That's a great point. In all of those dinosaur movies, there's never like a Bradley with a 30 mic.
Not even that. There's never just like there's never just Billy Bob with a 12 gauge and a raptor runs out. Pow! Not a single fucking time.
Although in what was it, the third one, old boy,
Tell me I'm wrong.
he had a 45-70. He had the Marlin. He did.
And that's why like Jurassic Park movies are bullshit. Like you expect me to believe you brought dinosaurs back to life. And there wasn't immediately, if not the people that developed the technology, a bunch of billionaire rednecks in West Texas with a private ranch where you could go hunt a velociraptor for $100,000. That's exactly what would happen.
Immediately. Mm-hmm. Immediately would happen. I don't know about a raptor. I've read stories like
They would be on every wall. A trophy raptor that'd be all the rage. Everyone needs to have like some type of dinosaur on their wall.
Utah raptor.
That's the part that, because it's like, oh, dinosaur. The only reason humans are around is because dinosaurs aren't roaming the earth. It's like, no, it's not. We'd fuck dinosaurs up. Bro, my 4-year-old, I took him to the zoo. I got him a little necklace. It's a little acrylic, and in the acrylic, there's a shark tooth. Well, he keeps wanting me to take the shark tooth out of the fucking acrylic. I'm like, I can't do that, buddy. It doesn't come out. He's like, well, I want the shark tooth out. And I'm like, fuck it. I get on Amazon. I bought a pound of shark teeth for $7.99 on Amazon. You're going to tell me dinosaurs are f***ing us up? Get out of here. Like,
Is there a similar animal that's like on the land that is as dangerous as like a raptor today?
grizzly bear.
Right.
Well, I would say polar bear.
A grizzly bear would fuck a raptor up.
And you don't see people grizzly bears do not rule the earth today.
So again, my brain maintains stupid information. But the largest land mammal in North America is actually a polar bear. It's not a grizzly bear. Polar bears are slightly larger. Yeah. But also polar bear, for some reason my brain retained this, are the only animal in North America that actively hunts humans.
They don't give a fuck. They are polar bear.
bears.
You have
Polar bears,
bear. You have brown bear, black bear. There is like lay down or make yourself tall. Polar bear is the only one is fucking run. Like that is there's no like you can play dead. It's going to kill you.
How does it go? If it's
4
brown,
feet bigger than
it's brown, lay down, black, don't look back, white, say goodnight.
If it's white, it's trying to colonize you. Run.
That's not a race thing.
It knows I have oil. The polar bears are here. Run. And you polar bears fucking.
This chase is brought to you by Coca-Cola.
Wasn't there a couple years ago someone found like a hybrid, like a polar bear and a grizzly bear, like a Kodiak, got down, and it looked brown, but it had the same like genes. I swear that was a thing that I read somewhere.
They're like ligers.
Yeah, I mean, theoretically.
I know
sterile.
one liger fact. They can't reproduce.
Oh, like a mule.
They can.
Yeah.
They're terrifyingly big, though. Have you seen?
Oh yeah.
Have you seen how big a liger is?
Have you seen Kenny the tiger?
Oh, the Down syndrome tiger.
Google it. Google Kenny the tiger.
Oh my god.
Wait, he's fucking trisomy 21. Kenny the tiger.
I think it's the only known tiger like that.
So a derpy. Is he a derpy boy?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Show Chris. You've never seen that before?
What a sweetheart.
How did he get Did he get himself captured?
You've been the one away at the little. I'm sorry.
Woof. What the fuck's wrong with Kenny?
That's how I get canceled right
Can
there.
we just start looking at different derpy animals?
That's the entire podcast. We're just laughing at derpy animals.
God.
They're like, what the fuck did we watch? Dude, that's like bro. Where, like, it's a liger.
Yeah, I saw one. I went to one of those cat sanctuaries once to film, like, years ago, to film like a doc on them, and they are friggin' huge.
So I want to know, like, aside from captivity, how did that happen? Because tigers is like the furthest.
Well, when a mommy lion
shut
loves
up.
a daddy tiger
But,
very
like, they
much.
don't-
That's why he doesn't have kids.
People,
Hold on.
When
They
a-
don't ever cross
When a
paths.
mommy lion wants to get her flakes frosted, and she calls Tony.
No, like so tigers, the furthest they go west is like India, and the furthest east you'll see a lion is like the Horn of Africa.
Also, further fucking proof, humans reign supreme, because exactly how that happened. We're like, look at the size of that cat. Let's catch it.
That's
And
fair.
transport it across the planet.
and then don't think any further than that, and they end up just like, when it gets too big and dangerous, then they give it to one of those sanctuaries.
Well, they caught
They're
the
like,
big
not my
cats.
problem anymore.
It's more they caught them and then they're like, now make them fuck.
Yeah.
It's sterile.
I didn't see
Let
that
it
on
go.
Tiger King.
They just put it out in existence again.
Yeah.
I
No,
think
I like going back in like what you're talking about. Back in the day, it is crazy when you hear like the war stories of like battle elephants. And then it's like, oh, how do you get rid of battle elephants? Oh, let's light these hogs on fire, and it'll scare the shit out of them. They're just figuring out what worked and what
I mean, but
didn't
can you
work.
imagine like not knowing what an elephant was?
Yes,
And, like,
that's
battle, like that's
yes.
dude, that's insane.
Is it? Maybe in like spear and
Well, I'm
sword
saying,
time.
like, way
modern
long
time
ago,
though.
yeah.
Like,
Oh, not modern.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, I don't know,
Like 1200?
Like if there was like, I don't know, we rolled up on an alien planet that had like a primal civilization, and they had like the equivalent of war elephants. Like, there's a marine machine gun. It's Debs. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I wonder what it tastes like.
100%. Like,
Yeah.
you think the dudes with the shields on the front line were like, I'm gonna eat that fucking thing for sure. Like,
That looks tasty.
That's why I didn't like Avatar.
hippo is allegedly delicious.
Yeah.
I would not fuck with that one. Like that's
No, but eating is really
Oh, yeah. I
like
mean, like-
a pair.
Hippo steak is apparently fantastic.
All I want now.
Is this
I mean,
true?
Yeah, we almost brought him to America in the 1800s.
A delicious slab of hippo.
Isn't there
Yeah.
two or three
They-
hippos in Colombia that
There's
a
a lot
certain
more.
Two
When
or
they
three
first started,
hundred, two or
yeah.
300 hippos in Colombia that are about to cause the apocalypse.
God, I do not want to go to South America now.
It started because they are the most territorial. Like there's like, by 5x, they kill more humans.
Yeah, it's
than
like the
any
deadliest
other thing.
animal on
Yeah.
the planet, I think.
Other than mosquitoes, like it's those and then hippos.
That doesn't count.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
fat chicks
malaria.
really are angry. I'm sorry.
one of them slam pigs?
The scary
military.
Part, the
They're
scary
right
part
there.
about hippos is everybody's like, oh, it's a big derpy fat fuck that floats around in the water all day. No, it's not. Their skin is like, it's thick skin. There's no like layer of blubber like a whale. There's solid muscle underneath that. You know how hippos swim? They don't. That was a trick question. You know how they get around in the water? They sink.
And then they run across
They
the bottom.
run across the riverbed, and when they run, they can run underwater for like 5 minutes, and then when they run out of water, they jump up, take a breath, and sink back to the bottom and run along the bottom of the river.
They run at like 35 miles an hour. don't they?
28 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's fucking
Underwater?
insane.
No,
on land.
Okay, on land. I was gonna say.
I
That's
can't
still
run 28.
faster than Usain Bolt.
That's like
That is. And how much do they like
They weigh like what, 3 tons?
3,000 pounds
Yeah.
or some shit.
hippo weight?
nope out of there.
Holy shit! At 28 miles an hour, you're just dead. 3,000 to 9,000 pounds. They get up to 9,900 pounds.
See, fuck that.
Yeah, you're looking like that's a fucking car. Like that's a mid-size SUV.
That's
Like
bigger than my
running you down.
Hummer.
Yeah, that's
9,000 pounds is a big car.
Yeah,
that's a large
my
truck.
Hummer.
Yeah, with a 3,000 pound battery.
Yeah.
that's a lot of fucking.
And then it
animals.
wants to kill you.
Yeah.
And it's delicious.
And it's delicious. We're 100% going
You know,
to
that's
Africa this
that's
year.
the hippo is the reason that humanity, because I guess like, you know, all of civilization, the cradle of civilization was in Africa, and just somebody one day was like, I'm done dealing with the armored fat water tractors. Let's get the fuck out of here, guys. Let's go somewhere else. And they end up in everywhere.
I tweeted about that the other day.
Really?
I was like, when I was like 14, 15, sitting in history class, I was like, it's wild to me that somebody would just leave like Britain or France or even the East Coast, like the most advanced civilizations on Earth. You got paved roads. If you got money, you got running water. Fuck, power's coming up pretty soon. Like, f this. I'm going to go camp for the rest of my life out in the wilderness. I'm going to migrate west and just be left the fuck alone. It's like, why the fuck would you do that? And then at 30, I'm like, never mind, I get it.
Yeah, makes total sense.
I volunteer to go to Mars right now. I'm sorry, how many people are there? None? Fuck, okay.
Dude, I was reading a few years ago.
That internet speed and I'm good.
I was reading a few years ago. I don't know if it's still a thing, but that disabled vets and there was another category could actually still homestead in parts of Alaska. Like, it's way up in the fucking northern circle, but like you can homestead. I don't know if it's still a thing.
Off, I would be terrible at homesteading.
Yeah.
I like electricity.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
And comfort.
There's that fantasy though, right? There's that part
that left me a couple years ago. I was.
Oh yeah, you're 40 now.
I looked at God. I was like, that's not for me. This shit goes south. I'm taking other people's stuff real quick. Way easier than figuring out how to do it myself.
But your son will be up there living life. You're like, Daddy, I built a house.
Where the people like try it out. They try going homesteading, then you hear the video. They're like, guys, it's been 2 months, and it's just it's a little bit harder than we thought it was going to be.
And then you have who's the tall guy? Outdoor Boys. You know, Outdoor Boy. He does I'm camping out in Alaska. He does it all the time. Really
I know who you're. I can see his face.
He has a family, but he goes out. He's like, I'm just gonna go live out for 3 days in negative 40-degree weather, and he is fucking good at everything.
Yeah, that man he's spent a lot of time honing his craft. I know who you're talking about. I can't remember his damn name.
Outdoor Boys. I just don't know his name from it.
You always just see him.
You haven't seen his shit, Nick?
No,
dude. I will say it is. I can fall asleep to that stuff. It is him. Like, I'm building a, what is it? Like an igloo, but he shows how to build into the snow. He's like, okay, the snow. He shows you how to measure it. Okay, we're about 14-foot deep snow, and then he builds a house going down. He's like, okay, this will be my shelter. We're gonna use ice we'll use a fire right here. What here's you're looking for? Was it Luke? Yep, Luke. Luke with Outdoor Boys.
Should have that like ASMR quality to it, where he's like cutting the ice. A lot of those guys have just long sections where you listen to them working.
But he's also like, he
their
explains
tools.
that, like, from what I've seen, he never does anything just for like aesthetics. It always has a purpose. He's like, you want this channel right here to go a little bit past your house so the wind doesn't come in your front door. And it's like, it's always just shit you'd never think of.
I know now, like, one thing I've learned from that, if you're ever out in the cold and it's like freezing and there's snow or anything like that, first thing you do is build a massive fire where your bed and your home is going to be, and then you put that out. You want that soil to fucking pretty much burn, heats up all that earth, and then you build a small fire next to it. Then you start building your shelter there, because then you're warm all night because that ground is heated. That's where you lose a majority of your body heat, is through the ground. So he's like, yeah, you do this, and then you watch other people that don't do that, and they're like, I'm retarded thinking, oh, that's too much work. He's like, it's 2 a.m. It's 30 degrees right now, and I am dying because of how cold it is. He'll show his thermometer. It's like 40 degrees. Well, it's like negative 20 outside, just like right outside the shelter.
dude. Every time I watch like Naked and Afraid or Survivor, it was like, you guys are fucking this up. I'm telling you, like right now, if I'm ever on one of these shows,
Naked and Afraid, I will pay. Nick. If I can watch Fat Electrician show up in a little satchel.
Me with the world's smallest blur.
It's that one booger. You know that? Put up the one in there. Like Photoshop your head on that one dude. Booger.
Dude, every time I watch a show, I was like, the millisecond they drop me off, I'm finding the ocean, the lake, the river, whatever body of water they drop my ass near, I am covering my entire body in mud. Like an inch of mud, because I am not with all the mosquitoes and bugs around the entire time, and I'm also not going to get the world's worst sunburn. Like, that's the first thing I would do right out of the gate, because every fucking time, it's like the second night, and they're just crying as mosquitoes are eating them alive.
Oh, yeah.
I watch that show Alone, and like they always go to like colder places, but I always see them and it's like, oh, I'm gonna set 4 or 5 traps, or I'm gonna put out like 3 or 4 lines. Like my entire coastline is covered in fishing lines. Like saturation is what we're going with here, and and I have 700 traps set on the other side. So I'm going to work on building my house. Then I'm going to go find dinner for the next 2.5 weeks. Like, fuck, man. Saturate that shit. But energy and I don't know. I'm not. I like Fritos, man.
Does your exiting traffic get caught by road debris?
You ever tried to clean peanut butter off of a shag carpet?
Worry no more with Manscaped 5.0 lawnmower.
Smooth as ice bottom.
Because nothing says fresh start like a sharp beard and a freshly manicured lawn.
I can tell why his last name's Herrera.
Join over 12 million men who trust Manscaped and use the code UNSUB for 20% off and free shipping.
At manscaped.com?
At manscaped.com.
This is what Brandon used to clear his undergrowth.
Because your confidence grows best with the right tools.
Come here, Brandon.
No.
75 minutes of power with the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra.
And most importantly, they're skin-safe technology. Because these tools are gentle where it matters the most. We don't judge.
Your butthole. Manscaped offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you can try that beard and ball bundle risk-free.
They also help with a lot of testicular cancer charities, which we genuinely appreciate here. So they're doing good work, and you get clean balls.
You gotta help others. You know what we say about that, word community. Don't cut corners on your grooming routine. Upgrade to the beard and ball trimmer from Manscaped. Anime smile.
Stay fresh this season, for everyone's sake. Level up your grooming today.
Use code UNSUB to get 20% off and free shipping over at manscaped.com.
Shave your balls.
I forget. There was one show. It was really funny. I can't remember. The one Navy SEAL in it, black guy, bald head, not David Goggins. He still does content, but it was like a Navy SEAL, a Green Beret, and like 2 other military dudes. It was like, I think one of them was like a survivalist. But they had a show. It was only like 1 season long. But the premise of the show was it's like your turn and you're up. And so it would be like the 4 hosts of Unsub is what this show was. But it was like, it's Eli's turn. At some point in the next month, we're going to kidnap Eli and drop his ass off in the middle of some environment. And he has to like survive and make it to this objective. But like they got so like one dude went scuba diving and the SEALs were already under the water waiting for him. So when he went down, they yoinked his ass and then just stripped him of all his shit and dropped him off in the desert. And he had to like clear 30 miles in like this amount of time or whatever. And then there was another one where the dude was going to like a conference, like SHOT Show or some shit like that. And they had like corroborated with the hotel that they were going to chase this dude down. And they chased him down and they had it all planned out. Like, we're going to start chasing him here. The only way to go is this direction because this guy's going to come and block this hallway. So he's going to turn left. At the end of that hallway, there's an elevator. He's going to have to take it. It's the only option. So this dude goes, runs, gets in the elevator. The elevator doors open. They shut. He thinks he made it. They built a fake elevator into the back of a semi truck. So when he gets in the elevator, it just fucking pulls off, and it was like the loading dock of the building, and they got him. It was funny shit. I gotta remember what that show was called. It was hilarious.
I would be so pissed at my friends.
How could you ever? That would give me trauma.
Yeah.
Hey man, we gotta get in the elevator, but I don't know.
Yeah,
do you ever trust your friends ever
to
again?
take stairs from then on out? I hate my friends.
It's your turn. Okay, let me go to my panic room.
You guys could have just asked me.
Yeah.
What'd you guys do today? You guys filmed a little for Habitually Fat and about woodworking or furniture?
Furniture.
Yeah.
We went to the Texas Furniture Museum.
Didn't know that was a thing.
We didn't either. So we went out.
Are you driving? You're like,
No, like, so they have this thing out in, what the hell's the name of that town?
New Brothels.
Braunfels, yeah.
Braunfels, okay.
Yeah, Braunfels, there you go, that's the word. We went out
New
there.
Brothels is a very different place.
Yeah, I know, right? We went out and originally we had gotten, my missus had gotten a hold of a blacksmith, and this guy was actually a former Forged and Fire champion and shit like that. And he's like, hey, I got some stuff set aside. He's
Was that Alex or Kelvin?
Alex.
Yeah, Alex knows you.
Yeah. I know Alex.
Yeah. And so he's like, I got some stuff set aside for you and Nick. And I was like, all right, cool. So we went out there and forged. Turns out I'm pretty much a professional. I'm better in forging in every way because Nick was talking to a fan and getting free beer. Yeah, everybody
dope.
knows Nick.
Some like Native American dude he had like full get up because it's like a Renaissance like festival thing there. So he had like this full get up, and he was a Marine Corps crew chief for 30 years.
Oh, this was like cosplay World War II, or just
No,
like,
it was like Western
cosplay
style.
1800s,
but
like
history
Western.
buffs.
Yeah.
They're in
Oh,
character.
So
God.
he was like in character, but then he saw me. He was like, "I love your video." And, like he went and bought me a beer. And, like,
pulling out a cell phone.
He broke character.
I looked him up. I posted him on Instagram. Look at my Instagram real quick. You can see his outfit.
Yeah.
He looked good. He looked dope.
Yeah, and he was super big fan of you, and I was in there forging away. I just want you to know, Doug Marcaida, I'm coming for that next championship over on Forged in Fire. I love that show. It's wild, but I love that show. And then so the not the owners, but the
No, it's on my actual wall,
Yeah.
not a story.
Oh, I don't know shit.
yeah
Nice.
Yeah, I was in that too.
yeah.
Dude, he was fucking. Was he just stoked?
Yeah, it was
yeah.
super cool. He's a crew chief, survived a helicopter crash from 6,000 feet. Like, he was
Yeah.
cool as shit.
OG.
What the 30-year Marine Corps veteran? Holy shit! And a former Huey crew chief. God dang!
Should we call him crew Native American? I'm
how
sorry.
that
I'm
works.
sorry. I couldn't. But
And Nick's just like, Nick's just like,
We
what?
cannot
that
call
guy's
him
gonna be in the
that.
comment section like this piece of shit. No, I'm sorry.
It's like it's still. He's like, no.
But then we went and saw they did a cannon firing, and there was a guy there, and he was actually kind of like, I think around me and Nick's age. He's been doing this for like 20 years and like told us everything we ever wanted to know about this cannon, like all sorts of information, like how different cannons worked. Like this dude, that was his TISM, which was great. And like, so we all always love like finding people who just geek out about their topic. And so one of the last things we went and visited
No,
was,
fuck that. Go back to the cannons.
oh, you want to go back to the
The
cannon?
f***ing cannon thing was wild because
Okay.
I was like, obviously you guys don't have like a forward observer and you're like calling in like coordinates and shit on a f***ing 1800s cannon, right? I was like, so you guys just fucking like give her the warning shot and then die, or like just Kentucky windage it in from there.
I never
and
thought about
he's
that.
like, he's like, kind of, but he's like, you see the setup back here, like 10 feet back from the cannon. He's like, this is where they would make the charges that they're shooting. And the dude manning that station is like one of, if not the smartest dudes on the battlefield. He's basically a mathematician. So the dude at the back, after they fire once, would make the charge and like how much black powder in the ball they were shooting and everything. He would adjust the powder as they go to get more or less distance and gauge the fuse on if it was a high explosive round or when they wanted it to explode. So it's just this weird, it's like the complete 180 of like a sniper where it's like, I have match grade ammunition. That's a static thing. And I'm going to adjust the scope. It's flipped to where like now the scope is the static thing. And I'm going to reload my own ammunition to make it work on the back end. And this
During battle.
during battle. And they're like, a well-trained crew could fire every 15 seconds. So this dude is just doing math.
Dude back there with a
Potions like a fucking Muppet. And I was like, holy shit, that's really impressive.
15 seconds. Holy shit.
yeah.
It's like a one-man artillery crew. Just
And it's just cannonballs that are either, bouncing.
That one
Also-
was 6 pounds.
Yeah, it was a 6-pound cannon. So just a 6-pound fucking...
Those chain ones were terrifying.
Well, he was explaining like there was a really cool story about a group of like 300 Americans after the Alamo. They got cornered and shit like that, and like what they were all doing to each other. It's a really in depth. Like it takes a long time to explain, but he explains that the Spanish at one point in time to convince them to surrender because they ended up surrendering is they were loading just chains into their cannons and firing them at the treetops and chopping down the tops of the
chopping
trees.
the trees down on top of them to get them to surrender.
Yeah,
that was absolutely.
that worked for me.
When they had the balls, like your back to back end is chain linked, and you get to see that start rotating through the air, and it's just that chain starts cutting shit apart and absolutely decimating. It's fucking wild. Terrifying. Also thinking about on the battlefield, especially what line formation did you do? You got in a fucking line and just like fire, and they're shooting giant cannonballs, and then you watch your buddy just get obliterated by an 8-pound
I mean, he was
piece of iron.
But he was explaining like the different shit they'd throw in there. He's like, they'd throw like forks and spoons in there, cut up horseshoes, toss them in there, like grape shot, like explaining how all the loads work. I was like, God, man, humans are really, really good at killing each other.
Oh, yeah.
But then,
I do not. Yeah, I wouldn't want to go out by a spoon.
no.
Like, please. That's the last way I want. At least make it a knife.
Oh, man. And then we got into the furniture museum, and I'm not going to lie.
I like your guys'
Dying by
we went
spork.
we need some cannons. I made a Native American, and then we went to the furniture museum.
Well, I guess the weirdest.
It's called what's the Swedish?
Visually fit.
What's the Swedish?
Meatballs? IKEA.
IKEA?
Yeah, that's your museum. You guys are just walking around IKEA,
Just drunk off our ass.
wow.
I'm going to be totally honest with you, though. Like, going into the furniture part, I was kind of like least excited about that, if that makes sense. And we get in there, and this dude, I understand how people feel when I talk about missiles now. He had me like starry-eyed about furniture. He was like tying furniture
not kidding.
into
Like,
the American Civil War. And like,
5 minutes into this rant, I was like, holy f***, this guy's making old furniture entertaining. This is fantastic. It was crazy.
he had us looking at one chair, well, two chairs technically, for like, I don't know,
15 minutes? Yeah. He had a tattoo of the chair. It's his
Yeah.
favorite chair. He had a tattoo of this. It just looks like a normal old dinner chair. Fucking listen to this.
Okay.
So he's got a tattoo of
I
the chair.
am.
He's got a
Trust
tattoo
me.
of the chair right here. And he's got a pin of the same tattoo. And it says, ask me about my favorite chair. So obviously, I asked him about the chair. He's like, come here, I'll show you. He pulls out, there's two identical chairs. I mean, identical. Like, not like, oh, those are two chairs in the same. No, they're the same fucking chair. Like, the grain was the same. It was insane. And he's like, okay, so one of these is original, made by this famous furniture maker, some German dude that migrated in Asia, blah, 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 blah. He goes, and then they wanted to recreate this style, and Texas had a bunch of people in prison, so they wanted prisoners to start making furniture. So they gave this chair, the OG one, to the prisoners and said, make exact copies of this chair. And the prisoners did it to the point where, like, one of the corners, like at the very front of the chair, had like broken off and was glued back on. The prisoners did that. You could see where they broke the corner off the chair and repaired it. And there was like one piece where there was like a big chunk, like a gouge out of the seat. They matched the gouge. Like, it was literally 1800s prisoners being f***ing smartasses.
And or beat
Malicious.
and not wanting to fuck up.
Just malicious compliance.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I'll get the glue on there. Just terrified.
It was crazy. Dude had me engaged in furniture for like an hour.
He tattooed a chair that's not his. Does he own the chair, or did
No,
he?
he's the curator of the museum,
Yeah.
and he's been working there forever. So
Dude,
it's
that
like,
is-
it was crazy.
we found the 1865 version of a MAGA
Yeah.
hat. That was an interesting. So there's a stitch on the back of a chair that he explains, and it's called the Lincoln Stitch. So if you were a Confederate and you had a Lincoln Stitch, or if you were in Confederate States and had a chair with a Lincoln Stitch, people, when they walked in, immediately knew which side you were on.
Yeah, if you had a Lincoln rocking chair, Lincoln rocker, a Lincoln style rocking chair, it was basically like,
What is a Lincoln style rock?
it's just a particular style of chair, but it's associated with like Abraham Lincoln.
Okay.
So like, it was like, oh, if you have that chair, obviously you like Abraham Lincoln, which means you're not on the Confederate, which in Texas, part of the Confederacy. So, and then he had like this story about how the people that owned this house, this furniture museum's in, they had this chair, and their sons were, they, you know, obviously they're in the South, so like they're part of the Confederacy, but they didn't want to be. So they had this plan where they were going to try to escape to Mexico and then take a boat up to New Orleans to fight for the Union. And they ended up like getting killed, and it like ended the whole family's bloodline. It was a crazy ass furniture museum. Okay.
Like, dude, this guy like tismed off in a way.
What the fuck did I miss out on today? I said, they text me, you want to go to the furniture museum? You want to say, no. I went, what? I'm going to do taxes instead of that.
I went in and was like, all right, we're going to a
Anything else.
I went into this with the mindset of like, all right, we're testing my skills. Can I dick joke my way into making a furniture museum entertaining? And the whole time I'm like, holy shit.
It was really crazy. I was not prepared for it. Dude like crushed it. It was really, really cool. He was explaining like the whole like, oh, in this country they use this to build, and they use this wood here when they moved here in this time, and then he's like, instead of these bricks, which they did with like the architecture in these houses, he was explaining like how the German roots fed into this, and they used adobe in this, and like it's fucking nuts.
Pause. Which one of y'all told him he should start a YouTube channel?
None.
Neither of us.
I got distracted when he said there was a Renaissance festival in December, and I was like, "You guys gonna have that night MMA shit?" And he's like, "Yeah, actually." I was like, "Can I do it?" And he's like, "If you sign a waiver." I was like,
So
I'm down.
in December. Yeah, I'm turkey leg and fucking.
the gang
meat,
goes
I'm
night
there.
fighting.
Yeah.
Oh, I would 100% do some night fighting. Is there weight classes?
Huh?
I don't know. We got to find out
I
if they
hope
make
not.
Armor in SWAT sizes.
No, of course you hope not.
Nick just in there throwing people with a mace.
Fucking go into the jousting. I have a Shetland pony. I can't even aim down that low. Just spearing their horses. I'm like, fuck, dude. Dude, that'd be I'm down for a Renaissance festival.
I want it. I want to go to night fighting.
Well, I'll get you. I mean, I still have his contact information. I'll make sure you got all the contact information. But it was honestly like
Renaissance and
I
Fight
wasn't
Club.
super enthusiastic about going to this thing, but the people who were there and the history that they like showed us made me very excited about being there. I was like, actually, this is really fucking cool.
I'll watch this. I'm going to watch this.
All right.
At some point in the videos, you're autistic about furniture. You know that, right? He's like, yeah. He was like a 68 whiskey. He deployed to Iraq twice. He's like, oh, yeah.
Is he married?
Yeah, his wife is a former. She was behavioral health.
Yeah.
Yeah, they met in the Army.
Honey, yes, you can go play with your furniture.
I like.
Just writing notes. It's a study for
When we
her.
first got in there, like I saw this one shelf in the corner, and I was like, "That's a really nice shelf." I really like. Out of everything in there, I was like, "That sticks out to me. That's great." Dude went down like it's made of this wood. This is why we know it's classic. Open it up. Look inside here. Like the TISM, just straight. It was beautiful.
Like,
honestly.
you know in Pawn Stars where you could walk through the door with like a unicorn's foreskin, and the guy's like, I got a buddy that can tell if this is authentic. He's the guy that guy would call for anything related to furniture.
Yeah, and this guy knows a shit ton.
Are you going to go to the medieval?
To that medieval place?
Yeah, if we go. You're
Oh, absolutely.
Going,
If you're, I'm in 100%.
yeah. We're 100% doing some fucking
I mean,
night fighting.
I mean, we got to. Ukraine's probably going to be using armor by then, right? We're just using older shit by the day at this point. So, I mean, it'll probably be relevant to his channel. That's how effective chainmail is.
Any day now, they'll be using those same old cannons. Grape shot.
We were talking about it last night when we filmed a different unsub episode that like German SWAT is wearing chainmail again.
How come? What
Because
are they
that's-
stopping?
That's all the criminals have over there is knives. So like that's what they're running into. And you know what doesn't work on knives? Plate carriers. So there's literally like they look badass.
still have those
too.
on.
It's fucking like the chainmail headset. Dude's got it like an AR, whatever the fuck the German SWAT dudes have is a multicam and a plate carrier. They look pretty dope.
That's sick.
Also, it suck dick.
Yeah, no, I can.
Put on your chainmail. Now put on your plate carrier. Now you're ready.
The
for
only part of
battle.
chainmail that I found, like, because I wore like one set, my buddy he used to make it, and I was like, let me try this on, and it was like just like a vest, and
Oh, yeah.
it
all
pulls your
around
body
him.
hair. You know
and
that?
on the top, too.
It pulls your
I
fucking
don't know,
body
bro.
and arm hair.
Would it be
How
hot?
much you think that weighs?
Would it be hot? Yes.
Yeah.
Getting ready to go to work with your boys with the armored troop carrier outside as you're like Alexa, play Gregorian chants. Like as you're putting your chainmail on. Come on.
Tonight we dine in hell. I won't say that.
Yeah. Oh shit.
I'm in poop and peace, Connor. I'm not playing your game.
Hi, Eli. Won't be needing this with today's sponsor, TUSHY.
And how will I clean my butt? Shh. No.
So do yourself a favor and get a bidet by... Eli, pay attention to me.
What's wrong with you?
Come on, we've all been to the void. Bidet by TUSHY.
What'd you say about the toilet paper?
Washing with a precise stream of clean water helps to remove 99% of bacteria, as opposed to wiping with regular toilet paper. Here, let me show you.
Please don't show me anything.
You don't know what you want. Soothing, isn't it? And speaking of soothing, TUSHY Bidet provides 2-in-1 benefits, preventing micro tears and using soothing water to cleanse instead of irritating toilet paper. Not only is it easy to install, it only takes about 10 minutes, every Hello TUSHY Bidet comes with a hassle-free 30-day return and a 12-month warranty.
I am squeaky clean.
Instantly improve your health from the bottom up. For a limited time, our listeners get 10% off their first order by using code UNSUBSCRIBE at checkout.
That's 10% off your first bidet order at hellotushy.com with promo code unsubscribe. Do you like medieval warfare?
Love it. I go to Renaissance Fair in New Jersey and New York all the time, man.
Autistic?
Absolutely. Yeah.
You're like 100%. Wait, do you watch the stuff, or
I went dressed up.
Study the wars in that time frame?
So the Renaissance, that time period of warfare, the audience is not super excited about that type of stuff. I love it personally, but I don't cover it on the channel.
No, but what do you like? What was your favorite segment in that? Is it like the battles, or do you have a favorite period?
My favorite thing to do is to go to those Renaissance fairs and dress up and then just immerse yourself in that world. To me, me and my wife did that last year. It's so exciting to just go and pretend you're somebody else for a little bit.
And the winged hussars arrived. Sorry, we were talking about classic battles, and I was at the Siege of Vienna in the 1500s. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that at all.
No, any of those historic battles, especially, was it Henry? Is it King Henry? When it was younger, it's in the movie where it's just showing French King versus him, and then it's just the mud. He wasn't wearing plate, other guy was, and it's just the brutality of those fights, because it was. What's that channel? It is Medieval Knights Fight, and it is just brutally realistic. Hey, this is if two knights fought. This is how it goes. It's just clink, clink, clink. And then it turns into MMA, and then it's them trying to fucking stab the other guy in the neck or groin with one of their.
Been playing Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I'm assuming that the fighting is just so annoying in it and so difficult to nail down. I'm assuming that,
swords, it's not like movies where it's I cut through your steel plate. It is dink.
I wonder.
Yeah.
Dink. Hammers.
No, I don't think this is going to make us fight. Damn it.
What?
I was going to have a hot take and say a medieval knight would fuck up a samurai.
I'd probably.
See, I knew you'd agree with me. Damn it.
It's a hard one. I will say, okay, because both medieval knights had steel. They were steel
that's the
and
big definer. You got better. You just got better equipment.
And they used bamboo and layered wood because arrows. So that's the only thing they were worried about. And then by the time they were, Nobunaga's the one that introduced.
Here comes Ezekiel with the warhammer.
And then you die. Literally, you watch those big ass warhammers just kill because your head gets imprinted.
What's the
Also,
what's the samurai weapon that was called? The name for it literally translates to sword breaker. It was a gigantic baseball bat with metal studs.
Oh,
and it would break katanas, and they would just bludgeon you to death.
Yeah,
with
the
it.
big he's not joking. It's a giant. When he says a giant baseball bat, it is a giant baseball bat with spikes on it, and it was meant to bludgeon and break. They did a fantastic job of that. Because arrows, and then Nobunaga introduced firearms, and they were like, that's dishonorable, but he fucking cleaned up Japan with firearms, just blew through everyone.
I also think that a lot of it boils down to not just a difference in armor, but a difference in armament. Because a katana is not a stabbing weapon. Can it? Yes, but it's not really designed for it. It's more of a slashing weapon. And then, but a knight is going to have a broadsword, a claymore. Those are stabbing weapons. Those are also slashing weapons. So the samurai is probably quicker on his feet, but
then they also have that thing.
Okay. What is it called? Tetsubo?
Which is a big ass log with metal studs.
The wakatashi or wakashi It's the smallest, so you're always carrying
God
2,
bless you.
and they would have that to kill themselves with, or to like stab armor.
It's fucking antique Japanese cyanide.
Yeah.
That's way better. Instead, like, and then cut my head off, please, dude. Been doing a stupid amount of research into like that old swords, slashing, stabbies, rapierist. Dude, it is the most terrifying word where you're like, yes, I'm a rapierist. And you're like, I would not say that. If you're good with a rapier, that's if you use it, that's your name for it. Those are still considered the best. Like, you will, on a one-on-one duel, if there's no armor, that is what wins, no matter what. And I was like, that's bullshit.
That's like
I was going through everything. I was like, there is no joking. Those dudes just fuck shit up, and they would kill everyone just because of the length. And then it's just like, it's like through the heart, and then you're dead. There's no ifs, ands, or buts. Watch the fights on. It's ridiculous. They fuck shit up.
We get totally into medieval here. God, that is a sexy man that just walked in.
I know. I was like, wait, who just walked in? I got quiet.
I would.
Try not to ruin the show.
You did instantly. Mr. Cappy, what are you doing with now with geopolitics? Which one are you going? Are you going to stay on the Ukraine war that's going on right now?
I cover everything, including American
But rolling
weapon
out the
systems.
gate, what are you thinking?
I cover a lot of times. We'll go into like what the United States plan is for certain areas. So like talk about how the United States plans to, if they were, their war plan for Iran, for instance, like how would they hit Iran's nuclear shelters? Like what weapon systems? Where would they attack from? I talk about Ukraine, yeah. Oh, so okay. Have you heard of Diego?
I like you're like, oh, this is boring shit. I'm very interested.
Oh my god! So have
this.
you guys heard of Diego Garcia?
Just a smidge this way.
Have you heard of it? It's a floating aircraft carrier, basically, but it's an island. So it's an unsinkable aircraft carrier, kind of in the middle. It's like off the, like 1,000 miles from Iran, and it's a British territory that they've had for forever, and America owns a airbase on this island, and they put all their B-2 bombers.
Oh, I saw that they just put them there.
Right.
Yeah,
so
I saw
that's
that.
where they go, and that's where they get all their combat power and build up there. And it's when shock and awe in Iraq, right? That's where they took off and flew from and just bombed the hell out of Iraq from. It's the closest place, basically, logistically, to run missions into Yemen, into Iran, and also project power into China, let them know what's up. But so I love covering things like that, like Diego Garcia, that base. It's just insane.
It's a floating island?
It's an island that is basically an unsinkable aircraft carrier because it's just for aircraft essentially. And yeah, so since the end of World War II, because things worked out pretty well for us, we got to essentially have all these pretty dope bases. And I mean, if you want to talk about some of the most strategic bases in the world, there's Bagram for a long time was a very strategic air base. There's in Romania, we have a massive air base that projects power into the Black Sea. And no one can kind of match America's
African American Sea.
You made it way worse.
Yeah, I could go on.
That's how
and
I
on.
get canceled.
This is super fascinating to me because that's the stuff I don't have any idea on.
Jordan also, we have an airbase in there. No one really knows about it, but Jordan is, because they don't like to talk about it.
They named a shoe line after it, actually. The airbase in Jordan.
Yes.
Yes.
And it is fly.
I was about to be like,
it's got a picture of Uncle Sam dropping a bomb.
You fucked me up because I've been there. So I was like, MSAB is
Wait, you've been there?
shoot. Yeah, I've been through MSAB. Yeah, I was there for a week. We called it Operation.
He's jealous, right?
Yeah, we called it
You
Operation.
got to go there. Who invited you though?
We called it Operation Combat Patch because, like, my battalion was split. We had 1 battery in Jordan and 3 batteries in UAE, and the guys in UAE didn't get combat patches. So, like, we called it crew immersion, which was literally them. They would send us a crew, we would send them a crew, go there for like a week, and then just go back so that way everyone got combat patches. We called it Operation Combat Patches. It was a waste of time.
You know how I got mine?
I got shot.
We always during that time, I think Kuwait, you got a combat patch, and I was like, "Well, you guys get to stay here and get like hazard pay?" And they're like, "Yeah."
Hey, I got mine in Afghanistan. Don't give me shit.
Oh, I know.
You're good.
But those units where that's what they do, just like rotate for a week. It's like, okay, come back, everyone's good. Head home.
Yeah, dude, it's insane. And like, there's several bases in Jordan. Like the Jordanians are like okay with us. Ish, like we just like, hey, you guys are Jordanian, we're American. Like we would drive past them and like it looks like a hobo town if you've ever been there because there's the main base and then there's
Nick is huge. Going
yeah,
to Jordan.
right.
Nick loves traveling overseas.
Yeah, right.
How many passports do you have?
Yeah,
None.
yeah.
They were trying to get him to Africa to go like on this nice
Safari?
That's fair.
No.
But
This is like a resort. This is not like struggle bus.
No.
But from the main...
Look at me. You're like, Nick, we should go to South Africa. They're renowned for their hospitality towards white people. No. Not interested.
Kind of got fucked up by apartheid.
We're
or
going
apartheid,
to a
whatever they say.
state.
Yeah. But the Patriot side is like, I don't know, 15, 20-minute drive from MSAB. So, but like in between the airbase and the Patriot site, there's nothing. There's like random like houses, but you're still on a Jordanian base. And there's just like Jordanian dudes out there like doing jumping jacks in the desert, like in uniform. You're like, what is happening? It's the strangest thing. And then you land there and they're like, yep, that's Syria. It's over that way.
That's what they use that base for.
Yeah.
They fly the resupply to, I think, right?
Yeah, I
Isn't that
think so,
where
yep.
Yeah.
They got another
To the
like
Syria base.
There's another
El
base.
Tanaf.
That, I don't know.
Tower 22 was right over there. The one that got...
Maybe? I don't know.
It's the soldiers that were killed by the drones like a year
Tower
or two.
22 might have been where we landed. I don't know. So like
near there.
We got on a C-17 at MSAB.
Pause.
Go ahead.
Soldiers killed by drone. Our soldiers? Who?
Yeah, it was like the first, for the longest time they said like no American soldier has been killed by air, an air attack since, I don't know, Vietnam, I think it was. And you can't really say that anymore because in 2023, 3 soldiers were killed by a drone attack by insurgents at Tower 22.
Was it like a normal small drone?
Exactly.
No
yeah,
shit.
like one of those type of...
Tower 22 is in a rough spot, though. It's like
Yeah.
the corner of Jordan, Iraq,
Yeah.
and Syria. Like, it's
Exactly.
not in a good spot.
It's a rough neighborhood.
Yeah.
Have you done, are you going to do a video on like the border between China and India?
I've covered that.
I love that. It's some of my favorite
Aren't they like
footage.
throwing rocks at each other to avoid like escalating?
There's a chunk of the border between India and China, and it's literally just like hundreds of soldiers from each country fucking looking at each other with a river in between them.
And bats.
And they have like baseball bats, and they like frequently get in fights and beat the out of each other.
With chains, everything except for the rule is no
guns.
explosives.
Yeah.
So it's even more specific than that. It's like they signed a treaty where they said, okay, we both got nukes, right? How do we make this not go hot? We're only going to use what's called cold weapons. So the rule is it's specifically 200
It's
meters.
a fucking slappers only lobby.
Yes.
It's hilarious.
It's 200 meters. So they have artillery cannons, but they have to be 200 meters away and they can't use it on each other. So they end up just getting into brawls, and like every once in a while they'll kill each other, or dudes will die by like getting lost in a river somewhere. They get freeze to death and shit. It's the most bizarre. We were talking about like medieval rapiering each other. This is basically
There's gonna need to
where
be
they're
some
coming at each
bleeps
other.
in this one.
They're coming at each other with bats, and
There's just footage of it on the internet. It's crazy.
Isn't there border
This is
with
the hooligan soccer people.
Isn't their border with Pakistan also like kind of questionable? Like they just stomp in front of each other and
Yeah,
shit?
I think
and
Pakistan's the one where they have like the performative aggressive dancing. They like have a dance off.
It's wild. India's on another level.
China and Pakistan are kind of they're cool with each other. I think they like each other, and then India and Pakistan not so cool. India and China not so cool.
Nobody ever talks about the American plan for China. It's just give India a bunch of cool shit and let them do their thing.
I'm just still picturing soldiers on both sides and like, no, bats, bats today. And then they're like walking up.
You laugh. That's what we did in the
snapping.
That's what we did in the fucking tree incident in North Korea.
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened.
Oh, or the jellyfish cannon incident that we did on Kind of Consensual.
Yeah.
When
okay, we'll
what's
go
the
to that and then
jellyfish?
that. Wait. Okay, this.
I did a video on it. It's Operation Paul Bunyan. There was a tree that was obstructing vision of one of the observation towers in South Korea looking into North Korea. And it was like an issue. They had to get rid of this fucking tree. So they sent a crew out with axes and chainsaws to cut it down. And the North Koreans showed up and there was this huge brawl. And I think 2 men ended up dying. I think it was 2, maybe 3, but I think 2. And America was like, okay, the tree's still up. We can't let this fly. So they fucking brought in troops, like thousands of troops on standby. And they had the South Korean special forces there with them. They had, I run through all the stats, but it was something, it was like fucking like 5 B-52s doing hot laps on top with like 50 F-4 Phantoms doing hot laps over top with multiple Apaches doing hot laps over the top.
I hope this guy had just one axe. He's like,
and then, but
like, what the fuck?
But they told them, so they told the Americans it was the same bullshit. We're like, we can't go in there with guns, is what they told the Americans. So the Americans are roll up and they start pulling out like axes and shit. Like they're ready to get in a fight about it because the North Koreans shouldn't have guns either. But there's just all this ordnance on top and thousands of troops with guns ready to run in. And then the South Korean special forces guys rolled up and they parked their Humvees and they got underneath the Humvees and dropped shit down that they had tied under. They had crew serve machine guns and shit. They had claymores mounted on their chest and they're just pointing this fucking 50 cal at the bridge while the Americans are just like chopping down this tree. It was like just the biggest like fuck around and find out moment in human history.
God, I love how much it costs to chop down one single tree.
This is true.
You know, I will say that's
show of
probably the
force.
only time in American history the amount of money we spent actually went to the job at hand. Like it just didn't line some contractor's pocket. Like everybody was like, "Look, we're not taking any overhead on this. Where I'm going to need 5 B-52s."
Holy shit. God.
Oh, hello.
What is that?
You mean my ass?
That's nice too, but I was talking about the jeans.
Oh, you mean my true classic jeans?
They look form-fitting.
Well, Eli, they're the most comfortable, best-fitting jeans I've ever worn in my life.
By the way, your arms are looking jacked right now.
They're made to look good on the most important areas for a man, like their arms and chest.
Can it help me in all departments?
No!
It seems they have something for everyone, Cody.
Yeah, not only do they have casual wear, they have active wear and cold weather wear.
You mean like fleece hoodies, jeans, button-ups, stuff like that?
Yeah, you can basically build an entire wardrobe in 5 minutes from their website.
Yo, true classic. Not gonna lie, we put in a lot of effort in the materials we use. If y'all want to work together and make some unsub true classic stuff happen, we would love this level of material going out to the community. These are super, super nice.
I've actually been wearing the jeans for about a year now, and they are my favorite jeans. I have several pairs of them.
Over at True Classic, you can mix up any kind of clothing you want, whether that's shirts, shorts, long sleeve, and customize the wardrobe to fit you.
With a 100% perfect fit guarantee with easy returns.
And free shipping?
Free shipping!
Whether you're bundling up for the cold or getting ready for the spring, level up your style with clothes that actually fit right.
Just head on over to trueclassic.com/unsub to save and look cool as fuck.
For a surprise discount, use code unsub over at trueclassic.com.
But the jellyfish,
yeah.
The jellyfish cannon. There was a U.S. naval submarine, and this was sent to us. So on Kind of Consensual, the podcast that me, Nick, Rich, and Eli are on, someone sent in a story about this U.S. naval submarine. Well, they were obviously, you can't go near naval submarines when they're in port. Like everyone knows that. Like you're going to get shot. Well, apparently these individuals during red tide, which is full of jellyfish, Greenpeace pulled up. And so like originally they were like, we're ready to just blast them. And the captain was like, no, don't do that. Like if they board, we'll deal with it. And long story short, Greenpeace decided to board this U.S. naval submarine. And the crew beat the living shit out of and threw them into jellyfish waters. There was one guy, they finally got a water pump going. So the ship, the sub, is sucking up 150 gallons per minute, including jellyfish, that it's now churning into jellyfish stew and throwing at Greenpeace at 200 PSI. So you're ripping people off of this ship with jellyfish water. It was one of the greatest stories I've ever read. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. So as soon as you were talking about baseball bats, and I was like, that's immediately what I thought of. Is U.S. naval submarine putting in work with the jellyfish cannon.
God, see, I think my life's cool, and then I hear stories like that. I'm like, I got so many more things to check off my bucket list. I jumped out of a plane. Fucking cool.
Yeah.
That though, cutting down a tree where you're getting circled by everything. You gotta live that moment.
We're gonna just park our entire GDP over top of this while we're chopping this fucking tree down. North Korean GDP isn't even a fraction of what was up there. I think last year, 2024, their GDP was I want to say 4 or 5 billion. It was not much. Or maybe that was their defense budget. I don't know.
I think that tree also for them held a really significant. It was their leader had planted it.
No,
some
because
lore behind
according to them, who's the Kim Jong Un? Whatever
his dad.
His
or something?
dad
Kim
planted
Jong-il.
that tree, is what they said. But
Yeah.
according to them, his dad planted every tree on the planet.
And he's
I thought it was specific.
No,
it was
it
an
wasn't
aid-
that tree. It was
a-
literally every tree was technically. He's Johnny Appleseed of fucking North
alright.
Korea.
You know what-
He also apparently invented the burrito, according to them. I don't give a what those idiots
You know what
say.
I didn't know? Whenever I'm just going to refer to North Korea as communism now, because everyone's like, oh, it's a socialist dictator, blah 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 blah, and I'm like, hold on, I didn't know this until recently. Did you know Stalin appointed Kim Il-sung, Kim Jong Un's grandfather, in charge of North Korea?
this
No, but it makes
I
sense.
didn't know that.
Stalin was the one that was pushing for the invasion
Yeah.
when it started.
I had no idea that Stalin was
the Korean War.
you're in charge of North Korea.
Yep.
No clue.
That's exactly what happened.
Yeah.
Then you had the Korean War, everything else.
I didn't know that. I don't know why that's not
The Soviet
common knowledge.
Union backed that invasion.
Oh, I know that.
Yeah,
I know they backed it.
Kim Jong-il, the golf, you know about his golf game? So Kim Jong-il, just like how he planted every tree ever. This was reported by North Korean state media. It was Kim Jong-il. In his first ever round of golf, achieved a score of 38 under par, including 11 hole-in-ones on the Pyongyang golf course in 1994. Dude, they up that guy. He is a god. No
Have
matter.
you seen the meme where it's the North Korean dictator's superhero power is turning everyone in the room into a Wii character?
Because everyone's just jumping and clapping. It's so good.
Oh. Dude, that guy did so much.
For any runners out there, this year is the first time in 6 years they're bringing back the Pyongyang Marathon. I did a video. I did that part in my video. And the jokes, they just write themselves. Pyongyang is the capital of North Korea.
Yeah, but what?
So they have a marathon there, and they haven't done it in 6 years, and they're inviting the world to come participate.
Oh yeah, they
in the
just started letting foreigners come to visit.
No.
Do they shoot them before they get
I
to
have
the finish
no
line?
idea.
There's always that chance. I'm not going there.
You run or you die.
I'm
I don't know.
trying to get extradited to Russia.
I have no clue. Yeah, I saw that and I was like, these jokes write themselves.
I'm still waiting for the UK to extradite me for all the shit I talk on Twitter.
Oh, it's gonna be
Apparently
great.
they said they were going to start doing that. I hope they send an unarmed cop to my house to arrest me.
Oi, Lord,
Chainmail.
Oi, I'm here to see a fat electrician. Are you him?
Where's your gun? Oh, we don't carry guns in the UK.
We have this thing called doctor-in-law.
Let me introduce you to my 4-year-old with a 22.
Your kid gets a fucking stateside before you. Why does he have nightmares? Oh, it's gonna be so cool when he goes to school, though.
First grade, got a teardrop.
Like, he's got a deployment patch of my front yard tattooed on his shoulder.
It's your hat logo. It's just that.
It's just a UK flag with a tally mark underneath it. That's all it is.
Iowa's gun laws and shit, and just like the culture, I would totally get away with it too.
Oh, absolutely.
I would be like, what happened? Oh yeah, no, you don't even worry about it.
Yeah.
High five. Like the cops would give me a high five when I show up.
A foreign nation tried to oppose their law here.
Bro, so like because I have like 5 cops that are students, and Iowa's a stand your ground state, it is a stand your ground state, but they have mutual combat laws in Iowa. So mutual combat is literally like you could just say you want to fucking fight about it and walk out of the bar, and if that motherfucker follows you, you're legally allowed to fight about it.
So that's different than stand your ground.
Stand your ground is like when you're involving like guns and things of like you don't have a duty to retreat, but
mutual combat
laws is like fighting. We can get in a fist fight. Like if I say, do you want to take this outside? And you say yes and you follow me, and the cops show up and the bartender's like, that guy said, do you want to take this outside? That guy said yes, followed him out there, and then they got in a fist fight, and that dude whooped that dude's ass like nobody's getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
The cops will show up and like referee it.
It's like throwing down the gauntlet.
Pretty much.
Today's equivalent of a gentleman's beef.
There was a dude, I want to say it was somewhere in the US. He found a weird, obscure law. I remember reading this a couple years ago. I'm going to have to find it. He was like 80 or 90 something years old, and he got a traffic ticket, and he tried to invoke trial by combat.
I remember that footage.
That was like, I saw that. I was like, this is wonderful. Like, dude, you know, he would do it. Like, he'd be like, fucking, let's fight. I think they just like dismissed the whole case. They're like, dude, like, we're not doing trial by combat for like an $80 ticket, bro. Like, just go on your merry way. Like, it's not a big deal.
Get on camera, bitch. Is New York a mutual combat state?
Duty to retreat.
Duty to retreat.
You have a duty to retreat. You have to try and retreat even if it's available, including in your own home.
So that's like the opposite
That's
of a
so
stand your
gay.
ground. It's like do not stand your ground.
Yeah, give up the ground. Give up the ship is the flag.
The ground, not anymore.
Hey, you ain't got no ground.
Yeah.
Wait, try to get that ground. Hey, yo, bro, give me that ground.
Okay, that's the official.
But I also like I learned pretty recently that the stand your ground is not like all encompassing. In different states like Wyoming, which is where my uncle lives, the only reason I know this, they view stand your ground, that is your home, your vehicle, and if you're a business owner, your business.
That applies to a lot of castle doctrine too, because a lot of castle doctrine includes your vehicle in a lot of states.
Yeah. God bless America for the states that have that. Not New York, obviously, you know, or California. I don't know any other ones, but those are the two off the top of my head that I'm almost guaranteed.
New Jersey's probably the same.
Yeah.
Where I'm.
It's not a state. It's a made up state.
Isn't it weird how all the states where you can like get shot for being a fuckhead are all the ones that are the safest?
Yeah.
Isn't that strange?
Well, I will
how
say
when there's an incentive to not fuck with people, people don't get fucked with very much.
Or detergent?
detergent.
Yeah.
Just something that's like close to that.
I will say
Nice and clean.
there's one state that's kind of like I pay very close attention to it is the state of Arizona. Very loose gun laws. Everywhere else outside of Phoenix, super safe. Phoenix, not so much. So like that's the only caveat to that. Like everywhere that like the looser the gun laws are, usually the lower the crime rate.
And that's why I have an A6. My bedside, Nick. And you call it crazy.
Does Phoenix, the city, have a bunch of like crazy gun laws though?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Because I know like Illinois is pretty strict in general, but like the city of Chicago and the surrounding area has even stricter gun laws.
Yeah.
So that could be like a municipal thing or county thing.
Nicholas, guns kill. Guns are dangerous.
Yep, that's the whole point. I'm aware. God. Thank you for that. Pencil's right, fuckhead. Yeah, I got it. Guns kill. I sure as hope so.
I didn't spend all this money for nothing.
Oh my God, Rich is in frame now. Everybody say hi to Rich.
Yeah. Why are you picking on Ethan? Why are you picking on Ethan?
Look at me. I'm Rich. I'm going to walk in quietly in my Hoochie Daddy shorts and a Megadeth t-shirt and pretend like I'm not trying to be distracting with my magnificent mustache. Fuck you.
You're flagging me with your balls the way your legs.
Don't do that. Keep ready. God, your hamstrings look good right now, though, bro. Your hamstrings.
Yeah,
look
you have
good
very
right
supple
now.
hamstrings.
Bricked up.
You should have seen my tits yesterday.
Oh, I saw that.
I saw.
Yeah.
I can't unsee that.
This is the most disturbing thing. I did it for the lulz and stayed for the disappointment.
Wait, what happened?
When I put on the fake boobies.
I missed something.
Thank God.
Do you know about the fake boobs?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Cody,
Rich was
first
wearing
off,
them.
who thought I bought those? Somebody was like, Eli, what are these? It's like, Cody brought those. Or brought them. He got sent them.
He got sent them from his P.O. Box, no return address. So, like, we got these fake knockers that you can wear, and Rich put them on underneath his shirt. And I gotta say, from the neck to the navel, it didn't look bad.
I did look like Bob from Fight Club. Bob had bitch tits.
I will say, the hairy triceps were doing it for me with the humongous tits.
Yeah.
It was like a handle to hold on to it, but never mind.
I hope that doesn't awaken something in me.
Why do I have Velcro gloves? Don't worry about it.
When I see the Velcro gloves.
You chasing him naked with fake tits with Velcro gloves? The most terrifying image I can think of. Richard running naked.
You unlocked a new fear. I didn't know that. You were like, yeah, I'm running around with Velcro gloves. I was like, ha! Oh, shit.
And he could take it.
Yeah, you're gonna take it.
Cappy, last time you were on, you got shit wrecked. Now that I'm thinking about it.
I did get absolutely annihilated.
I was like, wait, Cappy,
You want to do a shot?
Do you guys want to unlock the
Dude, yeah,
that cap?
100%. I forgot that you got shit wrecked last time.
He put down like a whole bottle of rum, and I was like,
I'm at home high on Percocet, and I'm like high as shit. I had surgery like 18 hours prior, and I'm sitting in my lazy boy watching Justice League high as the Martian Manhunters people up. I was like, this is fucking awesome. My phone rings. It's Cody. Hello? Hey, Nick. And I forget what the you guys asked me. You asked me.
So can I ask you now that you're here?
Oh, God.
I've been meaning to ask you this. My theory. So this is what I think prompted Donut to ask you that. Cody he heard me say, I think that the United States and China should join forces and run this shit.
Oh yeah, because Cody asked me
that,
and he's like, Nick, what do you think that would happen? And I was like, I don't know, but I bet the new iPhone would be dope. I was high as shit.
I forgot about all of
I completely forgot we called him.
I went pee. I was like, wait, Cappy was shit wrecked last time. I forgot we called you in the podcast.
I didn't realize how far Cappy was gone until like after the podcast, we're standing at the island in the kitchen, and he's talking to me, and he's.
I get to a certain amount of drinks, and then I start to say like what I really think, and then it gets bad.
Ready for a shot?
Yeah. Oh, God.
Let's do it.
Give me that bottle of Gentleman Jack, and then we're going to talk about Palestine.
One shot later, he's like, it's the fucking Jews.
I'll do a shot.
Hey, let's do it.
What are we shooting, Nick?
Can I have rum instead? I'm not a fan.
Whatever.
Yeah, well,
There's
you
rum in
want
there.
rum.
Yeah.
I'll have a shot of rum, por favor.
Okay, 2 rums.
I'll go grab the rum.
Tequila or vodka?
What are you doing?
Vodka or tequila, something light.
You pick. I'll do whatever you do.
Vodka. I've been drinking vodka. We do vodka.
Okay, so what is this question? America and China should join forces. Tell me more. Why?
Well, what I'm saying is, okay, America is an empire.
Mm-hmm.
We should accept that, and instead of trying to pretend that we're like,
Oh yeah, it's all
not
democracy and rainbows.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. We're the good guys. All right, but like, why don't we just embrace that? Us and China, if we join forces, hypothetically, like, who the fuck could with us? Nobody.
We're doing nope. I'm getting the real shot glasses.
We could run this
Oh,
shit.
those are half shots. Okay.
Europe
so
was like, shut up, Europe. You're gonna do what we want.
I mean, are you correct that it would be unstoppable?
Unstoppable is the right word.
Yes. Do I think we should do it? No.
Yeah, on the real.
I'm ideologically opposed to most of the shit they do.
Yes.
Like, I don't want to make a deal with the devil just to be number one when I'm already number one. Like,
Just a friendly reminder to everybody in here. Any plane that has canards is gay. Canards are gay. I hate canards. Although the Eurofighter Typhoon is a pretty good looking aircraft.
It's for you two?
Danka.
Do you guys want a shot?
No.
Wow. I was like, Richard.
I'm gonna do tequila.
I got you sit.
I'm sorry.
You sit.
You have one too? Yeah, I had a power nap. Yeah, you did.
Nolan, Tackett, you guys weren't here. Maybe you were here. Were you here when I was talking about Eli's magic cabinet?
No.
On the podcast yesterday?
Yes. No.
You were, well, because you were there, so you would think it was funny when like he went and got me the gummy, and then he went and got Tackett the other stuff, and then I was like, okay,
you already take it?
That's just where he keeps his drugs.
Did you already take it?
And then he goes and gets like a protein bar. And then he goes and gets 8.6 blackout ammo.
So rude.
Were you not there for that?
Oh my god.
We're gonna get you a second one.
Yeah. I compared 300 blackout too.
Yeah.
Oh my god. How sometimes I do things and I'm like,
That's exactly what I said.
Cappy.
So like sometimes food will come and like I'm like halfway through. Someone's
I
like,
set it
I
down
have
and he
not
just downs
got-
it and he's like, oh, I forgot.
I
He's
do
on his second one.
I feel like sometimes I just like do have no social.
Oh my God.
I don't get like social cues.
I fuck with Cappy. Oh god, I love it. I love it.
Yo, yeah.
I don't get social cues.
Oh, dude,
There's a diagnosis for that.
dude, I gotta tell you that story, the flight story. I gotta tell. I have to. My wife had the flight from hell. Don't worry. Oh my god.
I'm gonna play. We got the shots and we got this war shit going on.
Okay.
That's what I wanted for a little bit.
All right, to geopolitics.
To geopolitics.
Jakarta, Korea, North Korea.
Yeah, to North Korea.
Bring great pride to the great Chinese.
Oh. Vodka's just terrible tasting.
It's gasoline.
It's just it's what you clean wounds with. I should have done tequila.
I will tell you that rum, that coconut rum is not bad. That's not bad.
It's kind of like oh, okay. I was gonna make fun of coconut rum. This is 44% alcohol.
Yeah, that's good. It's good though.
That is strong rum.
Like it's good.
That is really strong rum.
Yeah, I'll take one of those waters, Sir Nicholas. I was trying to not get fuckered up today, but
Man.
no.
Joke's on
Too
you.
late, big boy.
Look at this.
Too late, gay boy.
Powerhouse.
Richard, hi everybody.
My boy.
If you yell "Stop resisting" 3 times in a dark room, Rich will show up.
He's just swinging at the air. Just swinging at night.
It's I know my rights 3 times.
Yes.
I know my rights. I know my rights. I know my rights.
I hate it.
How many Buffalo PD members does it take to change a light bulb?
Oh,
None. They just keep beating the room because it's black.
Holy shit.
I've done it before.
I heard it before. That's different.
I'm sorry. I love you, Rich.
Stop apologizing to me.
You, Rich. All right.
Mr. Cat, we just watched your video on you just covered the one with the dude tossed a grenade in, he ran out, or did that just come up? Like
Yeah.
the dude that was fucking wild.
The combat footage analysis one, yeah, that the trench warfare that they're in is just freaking brutal. The dude just barely dodges a grenade, runs it.
Have you did any of you know what I'm talking about?
I've
right
seen the
Runs
thumbnail
up
for it,
and
but I
just
haven't watched it yet.
dumps
Like,
his face. Like who was saying that? It was like a pumpkin exploded. We were talking about that earlier.
We were talking about it earlier.
Yeah.
His face went like this, and then
So
here.
one of the reasons I feel like it's important to, or like for some people, it's important to see that is because I think a lot of times you get like a very sanitized look of war, a look at war, and unless
A humane
you
look at it.
right?
That's
It
what I always
almost
think
seems like
people are like, oh,
glorified.
it's like a movie. Like, oh, I
Yeah.
died.
But I think it's good the more people see the act like brutal reality of it. That it, you know, there's nothing glorious about this dude just happens to run up and like turns the corner at the right moment, and it's really just like a roll of the dice that he gets his muzzle in that guy's face before, you know, he happened to be like switching from his grenade to his rifle.
You said violence of action. That's always, I mean, that's, you can't stress that enough. Violence of action is what wins a lot of the time.
Do you remember how people are just like obsessed with room clearing? Everyone's like, oh, let's clear this. Let's learn how to kick the door in.
It's like
choreographed. We're all going to be like ballerinas. It's like, apparently that's not really the thing anymore. Now you just throw a grenade into that room. Like, dude, what are you doing clearing that room?
That was the thing before America got super into rules of engagement. The Marines were really big on the let's throw a grenade in first.
Think fast, shit ass. Just yeet it in.
Well, now
close your eyes. It's a flash off.
Can I just Carbone? It's still one of my favorite like things was engagement. Carbone's like just pulls pins immediately. I got a grenade. Fucking get rid of it. Like immediately, like, bah. Boom.
As we switch to the mentality of like peer versus peer war, it's like you're not going and clearing that room or building. You are flattening that building. You are going and planting C4 charges on that building. What are you doing going in and like risking clearing it? No,
you're doing
it is
CQB AT4s.
Yes.
Well, it's a lot easier when the bad guys wear a uniform. Fuck, I'm not gonna lie. Like that's the one thing that like I kind of get a chubby about is because we fought man dresses and sandals that hide amongst the population for 20 fucking years, and I would love to be like looking at ISR and be like, that guy's in a Russian uniform wearing that stupid armband. Let's send him to his god. Like,
well, that fucking like the trench warfare. It's like I didn't even realize until you pointed out they threw a grenade in that room. That's why he rushed homeboy.
Which I don't know, if I was him, I probably, if someone threw a grenade at me, I would just freeze and just like be done. And a lot of people would. But this guy had the presence of mind to decide to push up, which is like unreal to think of. I'm going to go toward the guy that just
got to assault through the ambush.
Yeah. Like it really takes something like you talk about their uniformed. So when I was in Ukraine, something that was a new experience for me was getting artilleried getting hit with Russian artillery, Russian grad rockets, and Russian airstrikes. And I'm like, this, I feel like how the insurgents must have felt.
But you had a microphone and a camera.
Camera guy never dies. You're fine. See?
That's the principle that I went on. It's like, I'm holding a camera.
Crazy. That's what you're like.
Kill me.
I'm being mortared. I was like, fucking
dude, the thing that I found most crazy
dude.
about his trip was that they were like, don't wear press. Russians hunt press. Like that
and so
was
do the
part.
Ukrainians.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the Ukrainians and the Russians.
Hold on, I didn't know about this.
Target
dude,
the press.
that fucked me up.
Yeah, I took the press pass right off. I'm like, I'm not trying to make myself a target. There are also a ton of Russian press getting killed. But I didn't want to go in. There's some press that go in. I mean, I don't consider myself press. I'm like, I was a war correspondent. I'm going and corresponding. I'm going and reporting on what's happening. The crazy part of my trip was that I got to actually go to Russia. I got to go into the Ukrainian occupied part of Kursk.
Yeah, you were in Kursk, yeah.
Yeah, which now, where I was, is now under Russian control at this point. But...
I thought it was funny. I'm sorry.
Rich is gonna fucking arrest me, put me in handcuffs, and send me off to Putin after this.
You're gonna be taking hot dicks in the gulag.
No, but they told me, they were like, if you go there, there's a good chance, like, don't go to Uzbekistan or Venezuela because they will extradite you to Russia. Because Russia's opening international criminal cases against anyone that illegally goes into their country. So, but I was like, you know what? You only live once.
Dang it. Now you can't go to Venezuela.
I heard it's beautiful.
Yeah. You know, my wife is so upset. Our honeymoon is ruined. Our plans
Didn't you
disastrous.
say the whole time you were heading into Kursk, it was just like middle of the night, fucking foot to the floor, like giving it the beans to get there?
So there were two like really bad missions that I went on. The one was to Kursk, which was broad daylight. Then the other one was the drone mission, which was pitch black.
Off on a broad
daylight in an armored vehicle, and it's like an hour from Sumy, which is the closest Ukrainian town, and the whole ride is just that hour road is really.
It's like holding a plank, but with your butthole the entire time.
Bro,
Yes.
if I can say one thing, like
All cratered, all shot to shit, blown up, and you think
going
it's like,
on the moon. This
you're not
is
picturing, but it
deal.
slows you down and it slows the logistics down. So all the supply trucks that are heading there, and it is every truck that they have in Ukraine, they basically paint a triangle on. You know, it's all civilian. A ton of civilian trucks that they've repurposed as like throw a bunch of 50 cal in the back of this like just Toyota and drive it there. But they did, each one was marked as military because that's like legally you have to do that. So you put the triangle on it. But that's the whole route. The whole route is just tons of trucks back and forth, like thousands of them going day and night. And the roads are torn to shit. And you can't you can't take the time to fix them because they'll get hit. So we're going at like a snail's pace, which it should take 30 minutes, but it ends up taking like an hour and a half. Get to the border. As you get closer, it's like just blown up Bradleys on the side of the road, blown up T-72s. Oh, I'll tell you guys like how I got permission to go there, because there's like no Western media was allowed to go there. But okay, so let me start from there. So
Dude, this is
this is the story that I couldn't tell on YouTube.
So if I can really quick, it is going into Moktadia. We were on that 30-minute hour or as an hour 2 hour drive to there. It's like the moon. That's how I equate it.
Yes,
it is a moon, and it's just craters in the road. And when the ROE changed to, hey, you can just, if they look shady, shoot them. I was like, wow, that's a new engagement. And you are like, this is a real bad area because it looks like the fucking moon. The roads are just blown to shit.
So you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
you're like
100%. It is. Yeah, and you're like, this is not a good neighborhood.
I was holding on to the oh shit handle like, for dear life as they're driving through there. But okay, so the way I got permission to go there, because when I went into Ukraine, my whole thought was like they weren't going to let me go to the front, because there's a lot of Americans that go there and they're like, this guy, like, he's just here to like, you know, just like war tourism, shit like that. And there's a lot of people that they see there and they don't let go to the front, essentially.
You're going to tell me that somebody high ranking is a YouTube fan of yours, aren't you?
No, it wasn't.
Okay.
I mean, well,
what you do? Go to front.
It was a little bit like that, but basically, I fucking I didn't want to act like I went there and I was like,
oh, you're a fat electrician. Let me take a picture.
When you're right. Yeah. So I flew into. You can't fly into Ukraine. It is they'll shoot your plane down, and they've done it before. You have to fly into Poland, into Warsaw, and then take a 17-hour train ride into Kyiv. And there's no men on that train ride because it is martial law. Like, that shit is locked down. If you are a man, you are not coming in and out of that country. So it's just like women and children on that train ride. You get there. As you get more and more east, you start to see the signs of war. There's like bunkers. Get to Kyiv, and I'm like, we hired this fixer, this guy on the ground who's like my producer, translator, and I'm like, let's go to the front. He's like, no, spend one day in Kyiv, it'll be worth it. I wanted to be like, no, I'm paying you. Like, you gotta do what I say. But then I'm thinking, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I should listen to this guy. Like, he was born in Russia, lived in Ukraine since then for many years. Maybe he knows something I don't. Okay, I'll put my ego aside. Really glad that I did, because when I'm there, we went out that night. I got annihilated with these Ukrainian intelligence guys. It's like basically like the CIA, but Ukrainian.
You got drunk with them.
Just completely
Don't use
obliterated.
annihilated with war.
Yeah, I was like,
That's why I don't have my arm. Yeah, like I got there was this drink that they have that I don't know what it was. It was just kind of like a Red Bull vodka bizarre drink that got me turned.
I just
say
like
that.
this is the day before you're going to the front line.
Well, so we're like I'm like making fun of Ukraine, and he's making fun of America, and we're bonding, and he's like, you know what, I like you, Chris. You're a good guy, Cappy, and I was like, I like you too.
Cappy Army.
He's like, what can I? Yeah.
Nothing says I like you like sending you into Russia on the front lines.
So that's what I said.
Good
I said
man.
to him, I was like, he's like, what, like, how can I help you out? And I'm like, get me into Kursk. That would help. He's like, actually, I'm very good friends with the guy. Like, I used to be in the same unit as the guy that's in charge of the Kursk operation. And I'm like, sure you are. Okay. No, like, all right, cool. You'll get me into Kursk. He's like, no, really, I'll set it up. All right, sure. Then it really did happen.
Drunk Cappy, dude. Past Cappy regret. Future Cappy hates past Cappy.
Cappy wakes up, sees a text, you're going to Kursk, load up. He's like, fuck. Just I can't imagine a worse text message to wake up to. Like, you're going to the front line in Russia.
It's a formation I did not want to show up for.
Last night. Oh.
So keep going.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
So,
What an idiot. I said, I'll stand by it. I go, wow, get drunk and volunteer for the Russian front. What an idiot.
I wanted to know what was really going on there. I wanted to know the truth. And curiosity killed the cat.
Drunk Cappy's this. Your eyes go like this.
He got super squinty. Yeah. We need to
the truth comes out.
One drink. One shot. Okay, go on.
All right. So we meet in Sumy, which is like an hour. I told you guys we got across the border, and the artillery fire. So as we cross the border, they're like, okay, this is the part where it's the worst part. You basically, the infiltration to the front. They're like, this is under enemy fire control. So if you look at what the situation was like in Kursk, basically we're surrounded on three sides by the Russians. They're to the west, east, north, all around us, and they just floor it. And they turn on their jamming device, and it's loud as fuck. It's just like EW thing I'm probably going to die early from the radiation.
Jamming?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, okay.
You hear it. It's like, wah, and I can feel my brain like a little bit get scrambled. Fuck. I'm like picking up FM radio from the States. And it is, so they're just flooring it down this road, you know, where you see the border the border has like it says Russia on this big giant like Soviet blocks that was probably made in the 80s. And it's the most surreal experience crossing that border. And we get into Suja, and the outgoing right away, as soon as I get out of the vehicle, I was not prepared for like the outgoing even. And it's just the explosions. This you couldn't really see in the video, but you feel the earth like move from the outgoing rounds from the 155 that they're sending out constantly, because basically they're doing covering fire because they know that, okay, 100%. We have the one American journalist coming in, correspondent coming in. And so I get to speak to some Russian civilians that basically anyone that's staying there at this point are people that they're like, we've lived here forever and we're not going anywhere. Like, this is my home that we built 30 years ago. You, if like the Ukrainians are occupying it, Russians are occupying it. This is like a very poor part of the region. And I asked them, like, why are you here? They get them in touch with their family. Like, here's your daughter. They're begging you to leave. And they're like, I'm staying here. It's my home. And that's basically the prevailing opinion of the Russians that I spoke to that were there. Like the Ukrainians, they had a mission with me. Like, they wanted, you know, their propaganda purpose. They wanted to show the American audience that, like, we're not there killing and pillaging. That was their goal, right? And my goal was to show, basically, I wanted to show people the logistics of large-scale war. Like, I wanted to show people
And Frontline.
Yeah. I spoke to the guys that run the Bradleys there, the guys that strikers. That's the type of vehicle that I was in Iraq. I got to see it in Kursk. The 80th Air Assault units that were like with the Bradleys, the Abrams there. Got to meet all those guys that are fighting on the front in Kursk. And that was like my goal, show that story. The Ukrainians had the story that they wanted to show. And the Russians have their side of the story that they are trying to tell. Which is they're claiming that the Ukrainians are coming in and just killing everyone. And it's like, yeah, of course, wherever war goes,
people die.
People are dying. Civilians are dying. I saw Ukrainians living out, they're taking shelter in houses. And the Russians are bombing houses. Straight up, just like airstrikes on houses. And Ukrainians are staying in them. Russians are also using houses. It's not like American military in Iraq, we're on bases, right? But if we were to fight a near-peer war, we would not be able to do that. We would be in houses, and we would be hiding and distributed. So these are the part of the reason why I went there is because I wanted to. I understand like insurgency warfare. I get how that war, the logistics of it, but I wanted to learn and understand how does a near-peer battle, what's the logistics of that? How is the sausage made of that? And I got to see basically exactly how you have to fight if you have to worry about missiles hitting your infiltration. You can't be on a base.
It's fucking wild because we did Cobbs, so we lived with the populace. That is a platoon, a company is all that lives out in sector. So that is, in your day patrols, you're interacting with the populace. You're walking, you're still from Balad, you're whatever Eagle, whoever your fob is, you're not near them. And you're interacting with the populace every day. You're trying to win them over and figure out what's going on. That is wild though, on a front line, and it is two countries and both have a different like, hey, can we bomb that? No, we can't. And then they're civilians who are like, hey, I've lived here XY, I will never move out from this area.
As a 68 whiskey, you might find this interesting. The medic side of the story, so different, where we feel lucky as like we can get them out within 30 minutes, an hour. They're looking at, if you get wounded, it's like
6 hours. Yeah,
it's like 17 hours, like 24 hours that they got the tourniquet on, and they can't get them out of there on both sides. So
that's just like, I mean, it's
tourniquet. That is like,
that's a dead limb.
You're losing a limb.
Yeah, I was like,
isn't it
50%?
Exactly. Isn't it like 50%? What is Iraq, Afghanistan, U.S. soldier is 5%, 10%. Death rate, 90% survival rate once you get to a forward base and operate it on or anything like that, versus it's like 50-50 for
it's because of the
both
drones.
sides.
So the FPV drones make it so that they cannot, the Kazovac cannot get them, bring them out. They're just like, it's too risky. We'll come get you. When it seems less risky.
And I'm not being a smartass here, and maybe you guys can let me know. Isn't attacking like...
That's what I could do. If they had a Red Cross,
if they have a Red Cross, like even in World War II, like our medics didn't carry weapons. Now in the GWAT they did because the Taliban are fucking... Sorry, I know we're gonna have to blur that. I hate God, I hate them.
I think we have to blur that.
Oh, I hate them.
I'm almost positive medics carried weapons in World War II.
World War II, I mean...
They would carry medics, but as long as they had the cross, you were not allowed to attack that vehicle. There was doctors, it was
double
aid
check,
stations.
maybe in the Asian...
If you're talking about like what's a war crime?
Yeah, like Saving Private Ryan. The medic didn't even carry a fucking weapon. Yeah, just like
the war crime.
He said, she said.
Yeah.
I mean... Well, that's the whole thing. Like, yeah, it's near peer, but like at the end of the day, like... At this point in world geopolitics, you know what's a war crime? War.
Yeah.
I mean, like literally the whole conflict is a war crime because Russia invaded Ukraine. Like, all of war is a war crime. So like the notion of like people bitching about that's a war crime. It's just people that have no grasp on reality at all acting like nobody gives a shit about their opinion.
Dude, I will real quick. You watched the combat footage of the knife fight, bro.
I was about to bring that up.
That's the only thing that I could not handle it,
bro.
That one I couldn't fucking stomach.
This is how long is that video?
2.5
15 minutes?
Is it
15?
No,
the full one.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the
whole
one.
Yeah.
This is two and it's only them. There's no one around. Gunfight, out of ammo. They go to knives and are fighting for fucking 15 minutes, stabbing each other, biting each other, and it shows what war is like. It is fucking wild.
The worst part is you hear later on the Russians interview the guy. He's from like he's from a tribe that's like really north. I'm gonna get it wrong.
He's
Yuka. He's like
Genghis Khan. He's a Khan.
He's like, not like a bad guy. Is the up part. He's actually the reason he went into the Russian military is because he wanted to stand in for his kid, basically.
Yep.
He's got a kid that's like 18 years old that was going to get conscripted. So he's like, I'm going to go in the place of my child. That's the only reason he was there. And you hear that and you're like, I don't even know how to feel anymore. Because like, you know, I'm full cards on the table. Like I'm very partial to Ukraine and the West and like feel awful for what's happening to them. But at the same time, you hear that and you're like, oh my
fuck, I'd have done the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
Like literally the only thing that's making you the bad guy right now is the geographical location you happen to live. Because every dad would have made that same fucking decision.
Dude, that was the one. Like, I can watch a lot of combat footage. I can watch a lot of people get blown up. I can watch them get shot. Like, even like some of the close range stuff, like getting shot in the face, doesn't bother me. That knife fight, like, I had a come to Jesus moment. Like, I shut it off and I was just like sitting there for like 30 minutes by myself. I was like, that's worse than anything I've ever seen.
Dude, that is like
they talk to each other. He's like, you're the greatest fighter I've ever known. And the other guy's like, you know, he's like, sorry, brother, something like that.
They apologize. They talk to each other.
He's like, just please let me die. Like, dude, it's insane.
They're biting each other. Dude, it is fucking war. Like, if I could show anyone war, it's like, here, you want to know what war is? That is war when guns don't work because they were shooting at each other out of ammo. Now it is a knife fight, and now it is I'm biting you, I'm stabbing you, I'm wrestling with you, I'm cutting your hand, and this is what war looks like. And then it's still the respect for each other too.
I'll say those drones are by far. So there's like, I'm sure you'll love talking, you'll understand this very well. There's like certain throughout history, there's a couple of paradigm shifts in warfare, right?
Yeah.
Like the machine gun,
black powder,
gun,
steel,
the tank.
Maybe there's like 5 or 6 or whatever it is, but I feel like drones are one of them. It's one of those paradigm shifts where it's like this has changed the equation in some like really fundamental way. And the crazy thing about the drones is that you cannot hear them until it's already too late. The bzzz, that you'll hear that at about 50 meters. A drone can move 50 meters in 2 seconds. So think of all those footage that you've seen probably on like Instagram or wherever, where like you see somebody get murked by a drone. They hear it and then 1, 2, gone. Like, it is unbelievable.
We talked at the Pentagon. It was the one thing. It's soldiers are going to have to start learning like 3-gun and then shotguns. And I guarantee that is going to be part of the combat load is how do I take this out? Skeet shooters could do it really quick. Soldiers are not going to be fucking, hey, here's how I do this and I can operate on a 20-inch shotgun, bird shot, take it down. It sucks to say. I give 95% of soldiers a pistol. You are going to suck cock with a pistol. Period. It doesn't matter. You're not. If you haven't trained with a pistol, it is the hardest shooting thing. Yes, you can shoot an M4, an AR. I hand you a pistol, 9mm, doesn't matter. You are not going to be good. And then being able to pull that out from concealed or even open holster and then transition to a target, you cannot do it. I can do a holster my fastest shot 0.55 seconds from here to 7 meters. I can do a 0.55 draw to shoot on a beep, and then from a actual concealed 0.92, 0.88 on average. That took fucking autistic level of training to get there. Now, your average general soldier, dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
Yeah. The last time I was here, I was talking about how, like, when I deployed to Iraq, I was there during, like, it was kind of the gay part of the war. It was like the occupation. It's like IEDs on the ground. It was like all that nonsense. We were not invading. It was not.
We had such different experience.
Yeah, you got initial push.
You got some. I'll say this: your ROE was different than mine. But so now I would say, like, the war in Ukraine, that with Russia, like, is the gay part of the war. It is just drones. Like, you cannot infiltrate to your position on the zero line in the trenches without a fuck ton of drones just with you. It is the part of the war where it's like just stalemate, can't move, can't even get to your position. Like, big old
terrifying.
When it comes to, like, the gun thing, and this is maybe a video you want to look into, because I just found out about it recently in Nevada. Benelli is a great shotgun manufacturer. U.S. has used Benelli for a long time. They just designed a new shotgun specifically with a new shell for drones. They just designed it. So it's in testing right now in Nevada. And I know, and what made me, like, kind of, like, look into that is you brought up an incredibly, like, I know you probably did it to be satirical on fucking Twitter, but it was a really important point. He was like, every single infantryman should have to shoot clay pigeons in basic training or something 100%. Along those lines.
They're starting to do that.
Yeah, I was like, that makes perfect sense.
They're starting to do shotguns against drones in boot camp. Or not boot camp, but, like, I don't know. I saw...
We talked to the fucking Pentagon, like, the dude that's in charge of all future weapon systems. We talked about that to him.
Here's my my launch video is going to be about the hunter-killer teams and the 101st Airborne. These guys on the ISV infantry squad vehicles, they're the dudes that are getting the first guys that are getting the FPV drones, like attack drones, organic to the squad. 101st Airborne are getting those. It's these hunter-killer teams. And also,
I didn't even know about this.
You have a squad in one, dude.
The new doctrine is that you push out this recon team that does all your counter UAV and also your offensive UAV. It's like a separate platoons.
Nick, do you know what this is? It's called Warzone from Call of Duty. Because I just unlocked a drone. I'm doing that, and then I have a fucking jammer.
All I want is for drone warfare to lead to the point where there's one dude in the squad and his job is to carry an M4 or whatever the fuck the army switches over to, and then he just has a big ass backpack full of bullets, and on top of the backpack is a 9mm little Gatling gun this big. I want a miniature Sea Whiz on the dude and
22
shooting and
22.
That's what I'm saying.
22.
How awesome would that be for drone defense?
I tell you right now, drone defense is big in the air defense world. So, like, we have 2 counter UAS schools, but, like, every single day they're like, how can we stop them? How can we stop them? How can we stop them? How can we stop them?
100% a 22 minigun that just you walk around. Dude, Joe Schmo, Private Joe, he has to carry the shit backpack. And it has a little scanner stand. A little scanner is like, It is what ships, what's the miniguns the ships use?
Sea Whiz.
The Sea Whiz, yeah. Close in weapon system.
R2FU, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like, or they have they've been working
yeah.
on the freaking robotic mule, basically, is what it amounts to. But, like, imagine if you just got to that point, or even a normal mule, like, bring a fucking donkey with you and strap a little Sea Whiz to its back.
I will say that was tried. Like, I went to the artillery museum. That was a thing. They put a small artillery gun on back of a mule. They tested it once. They fired it. The mule immediately panicked, like, injured the person in charge of it and took off running. So I mean, we may need to like remanufacture.
I feel like there's a difference between artillery and 9mm minigun.
Dude, I think a 22 minigun could.
Yeah, the problem with that is it's rimfire. Rimfire ammo's kind of for full auto, so I wouldn't trust it. But any smaller caliber, what's a
38
FN57 would be good for it.
Dude, that, and then it's just automatic. It does like a Sea Whiz.
Yep, close-in weapon system, Sea Whiz.
And then the private Mosquito Wings has to carry that shit weapon system, but you're safe.
That's all I'm saying.
So
They're watching right now. I'm like, the boys, best job I ever had.
So
Writing that shit down. I'm gonna email Butler.
we're gonna move on past that because I have too many NDAs with my name on them to really go into too far in detail. Like kinetic systems is not really a big thing. Electronic systems.
My unit in the National Guard, so 133rd out of the 34th Infantry Division, came up with the Iron Man backpack because that was like our unit's nickname was the Iron Man. And we came up with the Iron Man backpack. Well, I wasn't in yet. It was a group that on
What's
their
the Iron Man backpack?
Iron Man backpack. When they did it, they took you know what it is.
Yeah.
It's like a thing. It's developed now. The dudes that invented it got paid out for inventing it, and they took what's the fucking hard shell plastic thing for your back off a rucksack. The frame.
Oh yeah.
They took a rucksack frame basically and took 250 cal ammo cans and mounted it up by the shoulders and ran the helicopter belt feeder, and they just filled it with 5.56 or 308, whatever gun they had. And they ran it from the backpack straight into the side of the 240. And that's what their 240 gunner had. And they like basically MacGyvered them. And all the 133rd guys I think they were in Iraq when they did it. It might've been Afghanistan. They were in either one, but they invented it, and like they had multiple dudes running around with this
240 and just fucking
a belt-fed 240 with a helicopter strap coming off their rucksack, and that's what they were carrying in battle. And the Army's like, give those guys a check. We're taking it.
I real quick before miniguns, you know, in movies like and they got a backpack thing.
Yeah.
Miniguns, they shoot blanks in those movies to control a minigun. I have video of somebody shooting a minigun with 7.62 blanks. I have videos of me mag dumping a minigun. It's like, 100 rounds, 120 rounds a second, or
75 rounds a second, 3,000 rounds a minute, give or take.
there you go.
Autism.
Yeah.
Now, the difference when you actually put real loads, not blanks.
The recoil is much different.
Bro, watching, we have it on video. It's like we tested. We did a Burt with a human holding him like braced. Boom, bigger guy. It goes like this. And we have bink, hitting right in front of his foot and then letting
He's like
go.
a big dude?
Yeah, and it was instantaneous. Had to let go of that fucking trigger. We're like, oh my God. Because I remember we were all filming it, and then I looked over at people on the right side. I was like, actually, you all get over here real quick. And they're like, wow. I was like, trust me. It just whipped right instantaneously.
I bet
you're
Nick could do
talking
it.
about 0.2 seconds. It is 1, 2, 3 at the ground, kicking to the right. Terrifying. 240, way more manageable.
I bet Nick could do it. I bet.
They have it all over DVids.
Yeah. Don't be a bitch.
Beautiful
I
thing.
bet you could do it.
They have the DVids video.
I might have it on my
Eli.
list. Now that's fucking gangster. They used still the minigun like platform though.
Yeah.
And they just fed a 240
They just
Bravo.
fed it straight into the 240 from their backpack.
Think about it. You don't have to carry a 50-round starter belt if it's all linked together. A 50-round starter belt.
This is literally my unit. So the Red Bulls, like the dude's got the Red Bull on his helmet.
Yes.
Yep.
That's
Eli,
the one.
here's the actual one, like from my unit.
Step
How
one.
have I never seen this fucking thing?
Step one, if
Really?
you're on gun team, rip a belt. But that's actually not bad at all. That's actually awesome.
That's way
I went to
better for a
AUSA,
240,
you know,
bro.
like it's like the convention for
Yeah,
defense.
yeah.
So they tried copying that basically. A bunch of defense companies after that showed up at AUSA with belt-fed 240s, link-fed, trying to, like, let me get that contract.
I think the futures, I really liked for the next generation weapon. I really liked I think it was General Dynamics. It came out with the plastic cased ammunition. I thought that was
that one.
genius. I thought the guns were ugly as fuck, but the idea of plastic cased
Light ammunition, man.
that
Like,
you
that's the
could
thing,
just
yeah.
injection mold 1,000 rounds at once.
That was my biggest
I got
complaint being on gun team is how heavy
I got
240
to
Ramo is.
I got to go and fire that weapon. First of all, their one has like a recoil mitigation, so you barely feel the fact that it feels like a full .762 round, basically. You shoot it, you could pick up those rounds, and you know when you pick up hot brass, it's like hot. Those were cold. Those
wasn't that part of the issue though? Is they had an issue dissipating heat because a lot of the heat from the gun when it fired was carried out of the gun in the brass.
So I have to assume, based on the fact that they didn't win the contract and that SIG did, I just have to do the reverse math. It's got to be some issue with that, right? Like I have to assume that after they fired it X amount of times, that
the barrels wore out faster
or
or something.
Plastic is melting in there
I would,
or something. Like
if I'm shooting in the
know.
dark, it was probably a similar issue that the Abrams has. So the Abrams shell, right, the 120 that we use. Oh yeah, you showed me that before.
I always forget I do that stuff.
So the Abrams shell itself, all that is actually metal is the bottom of it. It has a stick in the middle. It's called the aft cap for the 120. The rest of it is literally hardened cardboard that burns up in the tube. The downside of that is if you're slinging rounds all day, your round can expand in the chamber, and you can't extract that round for any such reason. Most of the time they tell you just kick it into the breech as hard as you possibly can and shoot it anyways. But I assume that something with heat was probably along the same area. I don't know.
If they could figure out a way to make the plastic absorb some of that heat though, and just have the lighter ammunition, like even just from like the war manufacturing aspect of like being able to injection mold a bajillion cases for ammo.
I would say that like, if you like for plastic, especially if you get a hot gun, probably really increase their rate of runaway gun. I would shoot in the dark and say that might have had something to do with it.
I don't know what the issue was or if there was. If I had to take a shot in the dark, I would say at the very least, like, you're the military, you're switching weapons, you're going to want to go with the least amount of uncertainty. And switching to a polymer case would be very, very different. Like, that's...
Are we still doing the 6.8 Fury thing? Because I hate that round.
That's what they're doing.
So
they're not just... it is... Like, you look at the... what do you call it? Like, the documents coming out of the U.S. military has to release certain, like, budget documents. And we know that 2025, they're spending a boatload of money on the Switch.
I hate that ammunition.
I don't know.
The thing that's weird to me is it's a lot more recoil.
It's a really overpressured round, and if you look at the actual, so like they make 6.8 Fury that can fire in this gun that's like normal, but the whole point of it was to be able to penetrate body armor for near peer, and to get the effect they want against body armor, they have to have the real ammunition that's like not for like training and shooting and targets and shit. And the real ammunition, it's like brass, and then there's like a steel base, and then there's the primer. And they had to have that steel base because this round is so overpressured that it would fuck up the primer and it would fuck up the ejection and everything. So it's like brass, steel, primer, round. And the round is like super overpressured. And then for the, you know, like green tip has a steel pin in it to be able to punch. It's a tungsten pin. And that's what's punching through the armor. But the problem is from like the war logistics side, like if World War III breaks out and we got to produce a bajillion rounds of ammunition, guess where we get tungsten from?
Russia.
China.
Oh, fair enough.
Who's allied with Russia.
Titanium.
It's just like, well, you're building the whole battle plan off being able to get this rare metal that we can only get from the people that we would most likely be fighting in a near peer engagement. It just seems fucking insane to me.
And then also you look at the Russian forces going into the fight and you're like, they don't all have body armor all the time. And how much of a factor is their body armor?
In the words of Ron White, does he have body armor on his head?
Yeah.
Shoot him in the head.
Dude, no, well, so now, dude, shout out to Kevin Q. The 8.6 subsonic AP rounds are now a thing. Subsonic AP rounds.
Subsonic.
This punches through level 4 armor like it's fucking nothing. Subsonic, so you do not hear it.
So their argument, if I were Steelman, their case,
devil's
right?
advocate, please.
Okay, so their argument is that you've seen the fire control system on it. That
which I also
like
don't
the
trust.
Computer,
but continue.
sure. Like let's say best case scenario. Basically, they're arguing like, okay, we've got these drones that will send up, and we will spot the enemy at 600 meters, and we're going to engage them before they can engage us. And the idea that they're arguing is like with that fire control system, someone like me, I'm not a great shot, I'll be able to hit someone 700-800 meters away, whereas I couldn't before. And that's like the whole doctrine behind it, right? Is that like we're not doing the room clearing anymore, we're hitting them out further.
I hate that.
What do you hate about it?
I hate that, like, why don't we just bring back like an actual squad fighting element? Like the loadout is insane. It's like we got one dude with a machine gun, one dude that helps the guy carry the ship for the machine gun with an M4. We've got a guy with an M4 and a grenade launcher. We've got 3 more guys with M4s, and one of them's a medic. Like, why don't you just have machine gun guys, grenade guy, designated marksman with an actual gun, and he's talented and can reach out to that distance in those situations, instead of trying to like cookie cutter to make every motherfucker super soldier that's capable of engaging 700 fucking yards away.
That is the very good counter. So would you agree that M249 replacement is pretty dope though?
Yeah.
I think everyone can kind of agree
it don't
that
take much to outdo the 249.
right.
Like, we should have been rocking the Stoner 63 for the past 40 years. I don't know what we're doing with the saw.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like, I think that's the weird thing about military procurement, was that it was part and partial in that, okay, if we're going to replace the so what I think will actually end up happening is that exactly what you were saying, which is like they'll give the XM7 to squad designated marksman, and then the M4 will still be around a bunch, and then you'll see the M249, see you later, bye. Maybe even the M240 gets replaced.
240. Well, no, 240 got replaced by the 338 Norma, which, if you want a terrifying machine gun, the 338
basically
Norma
can replace the 50 in some instances.
Yeah, and you can walk
Norma.
and shoot it with no recoil.
So I got to test fire that.
Yeah,
I got to test fire that, and shooting it, it feels like shooting the 240. The recoil mitigation is it feels like you're being gaslit by the recoil. You're like, did I just shoot you? Did I? I guess I did. It's like, brrr, brrr.
That's 8.6 blackout. That is subsonic. You can, we can,
that's a chode of a
400 grain bullet. Subsonic will do AP rounds too, so that will punch through.
The AP subsonic round went through 4 plates of AR 500.
And more fucking terrifying, you can I have mag dumped 25 rounds at 50 yards, all hit steel plate, full auto. Burn. There's zero recoil.
You know, I'm glad Q is like on America's side. I really am.
If somebody says just the tip with this,
dude. You want to see what they do?
Oh, dude. And then what they do is,
We're talking guns. I'm not very good at guns. I'm a missile guy.
The round just fucks shit up. I like it. It's just a missile at the front. That is absolutely terrifying.
Fucking death flower.
Yeah.
And then when you watch it,
that's one of those.
No, even more terrifying is like it was my bedside gun. Now I have a 300, and that is my bedside because Nick did the test of what it goes through subsonic.
Everything. It goes through everything.
For hunting or anything subsonic, for the longest time, you would never hunt with subsonic because it's inhumane, because it's traveling under the speed barrier, like the sound barrier. It's not gonna kill. It could maim or injure instead of kill. That thing though, Nick was like, "Well, we're gonna do a video." Nick, what stopped it?
4 or 5 pound gummy bears and a slab of ballistics gel, which sounds stupid. Gummy bears are OP. You're not going to believe me. I have all the videos up on Pepperbox. Guess how... Do you know this?
No.
Okay, guess how many 5 pound gummy bears it takes to stop a 12 gauge at point blank.
5 pound. Like, big 5 pound.
3?
Actually, let Cappy
1.
This.
1.
In slug, or are we talking...
Doesn't matter.
Bird shot at point blank.
I mean, that's still... I'd expect at least 2.
It catches the wad and everything.
Fuck.
9 mil FMJ.
Guess.
Point blank.
2.
5.56 FMJ.
5.56 has got to be at least 3. No shit.
what?
Gummy bears.
5-pound gummy bear.
We've been testing the ballistics of 5-pound gummy bears, and they are bulletproof. One 5-pound gummy bear stops a 12 gauge at point blank. One stops a 9mm FMJ full
5.7
point blank.
So I can stop wearing body armor and just
put
start
gummy
wearing
bears on. Yeah, it's edible body armor. It's delicious. So to give you that idea, that's how like resistant. The other one we did was 4 gummy bears with a 3 feet of ballistics gel behind it, 308 point blank, full metal jacket. We caught it in the ballistics gel after it went through 4 gummy bears. And that's what it took to catch 8.6, which this is what the 8.6 does when it hits.
a gummy bear.
Anything, apparently.
So, and the other thing is 8.6, the twist rate on the barrel is 1 to 3 instead of like 1 to 8 or 1 to 10. So it's spinning like crazy. So you're literally just hucking blenders at people.
It is.
The physics of it.
We were
tickled my
trying to
tism.
catch this. And before we switched over to gummy bears, we took a support beam from a barn, 4-inch thick hardwood support beam. I thought I missed because I was so close. I thought my ACOG was off. And I thought because I hit steel behind it because we had steel targets up behind like 40 yards back. I thought I shot over and hit one of the steel targets. Went dead center, went through the beam, through 3 blocks of ballistics gel, 40 yards downrange, hit the steel target. It sounded like a fucking car wreck.
It's the only reason I actually changed. It's still on my bedside, but I have now like 300 back at my bedside because I was like, maybe not the bedside because it's just going to go through.
My neighbors.
Yeah. I was like, holy shit, that's just going to keep going.
You and your cover.
Yeah. I was like, what the fuck?
Dude, that is nuts.
It is wild.
Well,
Wild
Mrs. Linecrosser, I'm buying one of those. I love my 4570. I love it. I'm a lever gun guy. Like, do you know Henry put out a magazine fed 5.56 lever action? It's stupid. I don't know. There's no reason to own one, but I want one. I like lever guns.
This has been a really good episode. Once Nick gets back, we'll go to the after show. We'll do like a 10-minute after show.
Oh, I got it.
Missed like 3.
I gotta do the story.
Well, can we save it for the after show?
If you want to, yeah.
I would love that.
Okay.
Because dude, this one went 2 hours and 20 minutes. I was surprised. I looked down.
No, Chris, you had us all captivated, bro.
Dude, you're hooked up.
Yeah.
I looked down. I was like, oh, that's great. That is.
That's the thing. I wasn't just trying to butt in to try and spice things up.
The thing I feel bad about that story is I feel like I'm just going on and on.
No, dude, that I was like, please do not stop. That is the shit where you're just it is captivating. And it's so relatable, from my perspective, and then you see everyone else's perspective. It's
a different type of warfare that I've never experienced. Hell, you've never experienced.
I'll tell you guys sometime about the drone mission too, which is the one that was actually, I was way more scared on that one. I'll tell you if you guys want to hear about it sometime. That's like the
maybe a brief on the after show. We'll see how long.
Yeah.
Story. It is a drone warfare is the most terrifying fucking thing.
I am so glad we didn't have to deal with that in GWAT. I'm so glad.
Answer your question. I don't think this is a paradigm shift on par with gunpowder or the tank.
The drones?
Yeah.
Really? Why do you say that?
Ooh.
It's just, so my brain goes to jujitsu. So every
my
just
fucking
shut up.
Who asked you?
Listen,
Nick falls back.
if you lay on your back,
12 gauge shooting up in
No, because I tend to, I feel like I agree with you that it won't necessarily, in the end, when it comes to America, be that way.
Yeah, in MMA or whatever, there's always some hot new technique that becomes meta for a short period of time and nobody can figure it out. And then the second somebody figures out the counter and everybody learns that counter, it's always, because it's one move, it's the same play. It's not like a dynamic thing. It's once you figure out how to counter it, it's just countered and you move on. So it's either going to be jamming technology or miniature CWIS or whatever. It's going to get to the point where it's just this isn't a world shifting event. It's literally once we know the counter, it's just another box we have to check to make sure that's not going to happen.
So it's funny you say that because that's exactly how I feel about it. I feel like what we're witnessing, it's always the sword versus the shield, right? Yeah. And when there's a new sword, whatever that is, that has the advantage for whatever time it is. But then what you're talking about, once the shield catches up, it's there.
Yeah.
And I would argue the same thing you're saying, is that like so for instance, if America was in this fight, I think it'd be very, very different. Like, I don't think we're giving Ukraine the EW tech that we have, because if it falls into Russian hands, like, no good.
Yeah.
A warlock system.
I agree that like our counter UAS and like what do you call it? Counter close air support would perform very differently than Ukraine's.
Just because of the sheer number of assets.
What we're seeing right now, everyone's like, oh, it's like all about the FPV. No, I think if America was in this fight, it would not be a trench warfare. Trench warfare happens when there's like a stalemate. So I agree with you. Yeah, I think, is it a paradigm shift for this fight and these two adversaries? Like, okay, maybe, but yeah, like we'd have to see what is it really in a like how would America's systems perform against this? Because first of all, Ukraine doesn't have air power like that. So would it even devolve to like close range FPV strikes? We don't know.
Right.
Yeah.
God, Nick, close us out. We'll go to the after show. Finish this off. I love this episode.
Thank you for coming to the Unsubscribed Podcast. I've been joined here today by my co-host, Mr. Eli Doubletap, Ethan, Mr. Habitual Linecrosser, and Chris Cappy from now Cappy Army, and Rich being a bitch in the corner. Thank you so much for coming. Join us over on Patreon for the 10-15 minute after show, and I will see you guys later.
Love you.